Yeah, hi, very good afternoon to all respected faculties. I think I'm audible, right? So let me just confirm, then I'll continue. Hello. Dr. Aishwarya ma'am, Dr. Nidhi ma'am, and Dr. Chand sir. Just let me confirm once again, am I audible to everyone? Yes, then I'll start the second part of this session and we are going to start the exploratory data analysis. Just kindly confirm me once again, then I'll continue. Hello. Okay, yeah, hi, very good afternoon, Satish sir.
Good afternoon, Ankit ji.
Okay, so sir, in first part we have started with like the basic overall analysis of what we have to do on like different methodologies, right? Now we have already started with the basic Python introduction and all. Let me just share my screen. So we have already like very limited time and we are running out of time now. What we want, I want to do the basic analysis of what as a business analyst or as a data analyst you have to do when it comes to like exploratory data analysis. Okay. So we already know that in Python we have a multiple modules like the pandas is useful when we want to create some tables and numpy is useful when we want to do some like numerical calculation. Numpy is not only useful like for getting random data and all, right? When we want like element wise multiplication, element wise addition, subtraction, anything, we have to use like numpy module. Let me just give you the idea, right? Import numpy as np, and suppose I have like 2 quarter data of like different banks. Okay, suppose this is the Axis Bank data, and Axis Bank data is like 2 quarter. We know that one single quarter consists multiple of 3 months like Jan, Feb and March. So this is like January data, February data and March data, and this one is like for SDFC Bank. And let me pick the January data, February and March data. But the problem with the like this one is a Python list data type. In Python or in any programming language, we have multiple data types, right? But the problem with the list data type is we cannot do any element wise multiplication or any element wise like the mathematical operation. Suppose I just want to add access plus SDFC data, it will like some issue for me because I am using the basic simple list, right? This one is like the basic list one and this one is the basic list two, right? And I cannot do particularly element wise operation or element wise addition or any mathematical operation. That's where like we have to use the numpy, which is like for the numerical calculation. Now what we have to do, we have to typecast the available data type, which is like the list data type. Now what we'll do, we'll just simply use np.array, and with the help of numpy module we can create array. An array is like a heterogeneous data type, a homogeneous data type. Heterogeneous, let me just confirm, like we can only store the similar data type value, right? Homogeneous and heterogeneous, we have multiple mixtures, right? So list can contain multiple data type, but arrays can only contains a single data type, right? So what I'll do, I'll just simply convert this access to my array, access variable to my array data type, and let me call this as like a data like a variable, and the b variable like np dot array with the SDFC variable that I have, right? Now I have two different variables with the variable name A and with the variable name B. Now we know that this is not in generally a list format. They are in like the data type of arrays format. And the benefit of using this as an array format, now I can do like element wise addition, subtraction or multiplication. If I have used A plus B, so it is like 123 plus 4 and close to 127. 345 plus 56, it's like 401. So we can do like any element wise addition, subtraction, multiplication and all things, right? So that's why we have to use this numpy module where we can create numpy and inbuilt arrays in Python, right? So we know that how to use different modules for different purpose, right? Now we know that as a business analyst or as a data analyst we need to understand what exactly the exploratory data analysis is, right? Now I have already given you one data set which is like the Zomato restaurant india.csv. Now what you have to do, just simply go and download this data set, and this is like in a zip format, right? Once you download this data set, this is in zip format, you have to like unzip this data, and this zip file contains one CSV file, which is like Zomato restaurant data set. Now, as a business analyst, suppose you want to like analyze this Zomato restaurants, it's like from an Indian data set or an Indian point of context. You can analyze your Zomato restaurants data using the Python and not using the Power BI. If we want a complete dashboard, so we can use Power BI, Tableau, or any sort of BI tools. But we want to like analyze, we want to create some reports, we want to find or identify the hidden patterns, then we have to use the exploratory data analysis concept, right? And exploratory data analysis concept is very easy, like you want to explore your data. So what I'll do, I have already downloaded this. Let me just go and extract this, right? And once you extract this, you will get additional folder with the name of like the same data set name, and just simply click on this, and you have this data set, and that is Zomato restaurant in India. If you just simply click on this, now what you have to do, just basically analyze this data. Now the problem with the data set is that once you start with the exploratory data analysis, you need to understand one thing कि क्या हमें data cleaning करना पड़ेगा, like we have to fill the missing values as well. And right now we have to do all these things using the Python only, right? Now we have multiple columns, we know that. So what we have to do, either you can use, like you can select the complete column, and we know that this is like up to Z alphabet, so you can just simply say we have 26 number of columns, right? Being a data analyst or as a business analyst, just the first thing that you have to do is to simply understand what exactly the column that you have. यहाँ पर मेरे पास column name है, which is like name, the establishment like कि किस टाइप का जो वो रेस्टोरेंट है वो किस टाइप का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट को फॉलो कर रहा है, एंड द URL of that particular, and it is like that data set is coming from the Zomato website. You can simply click on any URL, right? And the address of that particular restaurant with the city ID, the locality, latitude and longitude with the zip code, and then the country ID. You know that it is like Indian data set, so you will only find the country related to one, right? Now you have multiple things like the locality verbose, the cuisines and the timings, the average price, price range, currency, the highlights that particularly restaurants provides, or the availability that their restaurants have, and all these are stored in like the list format, right? And this is very important if you want to analyze this kind of data. See, we can analyze any data in different set of tools. Like the first, let me just complete with the column ones. I have this aggregate columns, like this is the aggregate rating column, the rating text and the votes, the photo count, or any open table support or delivery services or takeaway services available or not. So as a data analyst or business analyst, we need to understand one thing, that first of all we need to understand the columns, then we can further proceed with the exploratory data analysis. And this is our like day 3 of session, like session part 2 requirement. We can explore our data in Python as well, and the name of that concept is exploratory data analysis. So we have to perform this exploratory data analysis, that is like EDA. There are like already inbuilt steps that we need to follow. We can follow like already implemented steps, and we can create our own steps as well, right? So exploratory data analysis includes the data cleaning, data wrangling, like descriptive analysis. The predictive analysis is a part of like the data scientist, data collection, data wrangling. You need to visualize your data. Sometimes, see, let me start with the very basic one, which is like the first, the data collection. Then data wrangling is a technique. You need to combine the multiple data as well. Then you need to some sort like visualize your data. Then there is a statistical analysis. You have to treat your missing values, you have to find the outliers. Sometimes you need to transform your data. The transformation we already perform inside Power BI with the help of Power Query Editor, right? Then if we are like particularly want some like descriptive analysis or like the predictive analysis as well, so we need to work on dimensionality reduction. Suppose we have like 4,000 of column, we cannot particularly perform analysis on each and every 4,000 of column. We need to reduce our dimension, and to neglecting the column is a concept of a reducing or like a dimensional reduction, right? Dimensionality reduction, right? Because if we are creating a machine learning model, we cannot pick like all 4,000 columns. We have to pick the most correlated one. Then we have a multiple things to do, like the univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and the multivariate analysis. And once you got all these things, then you have to finally like communicate your insight, whatever the insights that you got, right? So our today agenda is like we start with the basic we have already started with the basic Python. Now what I'll do, I know that how to create a table inside Python with the help of pandas module. But suppose if we have already data, can I call this the same data inside Python with the help of pandas? Yes, we can do the same. Now what I'll do, let me just close this and I'll create a new Python workbook, and the name of that workbook is going to be Zomato Exploratory Data Analysis. We can explore our data, right? Let me just zoom in. So if you want to perform it parallelly, I have already sent the uh, data to like the WhatsApp. You can download this data and do the same process and repeat the same process, right? So it is like exploratory data analysis Zomato. Okay. Now the first thing that you have to do, you have to give the title for that. Just write one, and it will convert this cell into markdown mode, and just simply write Zomato exploratory data analysis. Okay, if you want, you can use like images as well if you want to show something like exploratory data analysis. Okay, let me again convert this to one, and let me pick this as a reference and just paste this, and you will get a image reference of this. Like, we have multiple things, I can use any one of them, right? So we have multiple images, right? Let me pick any images. Zomato analysis, I think this one is perfect, right? I can pick this one, and what you have to do, just simply open this image in new tab and just convert this to markdown mode, and pick this image and go to your tab and just drop it here, right? And run shift enter, you will get your image, right? So Zomato exploratory data analysis, right? Now if you don't want this, you can use like any another or any reference of images, like what you like. Okay, you can also pick this one, or we have multiple like images we can usually pick. Or instead you don't want like to show EDA, what you can just simply show Zomato, and Zomato के basis पर I'll get my like some good images like this one or this one. I think this one is perfect, right? So I can also call this one, right? Instead of this, let me remove this one and I'll pick this one. Okay, so do the same process and you will get like Zomato exploratory data analysis. Now you want to analyze your data and you want to find the insights, right? So first of all, you know that you are going to perform all these things in Python only, and you know that you cannot analyze your any data if you don't know the concept of library. So the first thing that you have to do, you have to import all the libraries now, Rao. So right now what I'll do, I'll import all important libraries, and believe me, the things that I'm going to tell is definitely new for you, right? If you have any doubt, then just let me know. I'll try to write particularly resolve the issues and all, right? So import all important libraries, right? Now how to import all important libraries? We have multiple libraries in Python and we can import, right? So the basic thing is that we want to import the very basic one, which is like the pandas. So import pandas, pandas, pandas as pd. The second library, I want to create some charts also, so I will use import matplotlib. Hit tab button will give you the suggestion. Inside this matplotlib, I want to call this pyplot and call this as a plt is like just like aliasing, right? I'll also import the advanced module of like Seaborn, Seaborn, and the aliasing with the name is as SNS, right? I will again import the numpy. You know that all both for all four modules are very basic one, right? And sometimes we also got like get warnings while we run codes, right? So you can also import warnings as well, and you can suppress the warnings. So inside the warnings, you will get this code warnings dot filter warnings, and you can write ignore, and this will ignore. See, as a business analyst, you no need to particularly write all this code. The data analyst will be there, but you should know the process and all, right? And the final thing that you have to write, ki all modules loaded successfully. Once I run this code, if I get this message all modules loaded successfully, it means I have loaded all these modules. This is the first step, right? So let me write this as step 1. see, we need to particularly perform EDA in like step by step. Now the second step that I'll do, I have already imported this module. Now again write one and it will convert into markdown cell. Now this is the step two. The step two is like you want to load your data. So just simply write load data. And you know that now you have extracted this file, right? Which file? This one. What you have to do, just simply go to this, right click. You want to call this file inside Python notebook, right? So what I'll do, I am using my Windows 11, so I can simply copy as path, right? If you want, if you are not using Windows 11, you have to just go to this properties and just click on this security. Then you have to click the complete object name by this like control C, and what you have to do, just simply come here and write this pd dot read underscore csv. There is an option which is called I want to read my csv file, and in a single quotes just paste your path, right, and just run this. You will get, sometime you will get this unicode error because it will try to say like there is some like hidden meta characters which we are not seeing, like कुछ यहाँ पर ना छुपा हुआ character लिखा होता है, like we explore the same in like python के power bi में हमने देखा था. So what you have to do, just press backspace and again press backspace and write all these things again, right, and run this. If you are again getting this, it means कि वो अभी भी आपका है. Now what I'll do, let okay, so the error could be related to another things, like it is like unicode escape error. So in python, that backspace represent key, you cannot particularly use this one, you have to convert this all backspace into a double backspace, right? So in this way you can read out all your file. But imagine the situation if we have like the multiple paths and very long path, then in that case you cannot particularly apply all डबल बैकवर्ड स्लैशेस. सो ऑल्दो वी कैन डू दिस, सो हमें क्या करना है, सबके पास डबल बैकवर्ड स्लैश लगा देना है, देन आई कैन रीड आउट माई फाइल. नाउ आई नो दैट ना विद द हेल्प ऑफ pandas I have particularly read out all this file, and it will try to give me some data, like we have 21 like 2,11,944 number of rows and 26 column, we have multiple columns. Now what you have to do, you cannot particularly run this code directly, you have to store your data in a data frame. Data frame is a variable. Now once you run this code, just try to write this keep print data loaded successfully. Okay, data loaded, yeah, data loaded done. You can write any message, right, it's completely depends upon you. If I'll get this message like data loaded done, it means ऊपर वाला code मेरा चल गया है. Now I have to explore my data. So that's why na we are doing like exploratory data analysis, right? This is a part of our day 3 module. So what I'll do, we will try to explore this data set. So for that there is again an additional step which is like step 3, and now we will try to get data set basic information, right? Get dataset basic information, this is the step 3. Now how to get dataset basic information, df is a variable name. df जो है वो मेरा variable name होगा जो that it reads this dataset from this path, right? So what you have to do, just simply write this df dot shape. If you run this df dot shape, it will give you key, you have the number of rows and you have this number of columns. Now what you have to do, you have to just simply write r comma c. R comma c is like this row value will store inside this r and this column value is store inside this c. Once you run this, and if you just simply use this r, it will give you the number of rows, and if you just simply write c, it will give you the number of column. But you don't need to write like this, you have to give a message, right? Number of rows, you know that na, number of rows coming from like r, this is the number of rows, again copy this and paste this and use this number of columns and use this c option, right, like this. So in this way, this is the number of rows and the number of columns, right? Now we want to again explore the basic data set. So if we want to check the top data, so what you can do, you can just simply write df.head. df.head will try to give you the basic top 5 value, above top 5 value, right? So it's like df.head is a top 5 value. If you just want to analyze only 3 data, you can just write head ke andar 3 and it will give you the 3 data only, like df.head. Like in the same way, you can particularly explore your bottom data as well with the method like df.tail, and again df.tail will give you the bottom 10 data. If you just only want top 3 data, you can just write 3 and it will give you the df.tail, means last ke 3 data set, right? Now you know that you have this data set with the name of df, right? Df mein hamare paas we have like total 26 column, all the number of rows. Now what we want, we have like a business objective, and the objective is we want to analyze this data set using python so that we can draw some insights, we can find some insights, and based on that we can like particularly take some decision after any conclusion, right? So in this way we can do this. Like if you just want to get any sample, so you can just simply write df.sample. Df.sample will try to give you the sample rows. It's like it's giving you the sampling, right? If you just run this code again and again, it will try to give you the sample data. देखिए ये बार बार ना मुझे एक sample data return कर रहा है, and what you have to do, you have to just simply check, okay ये सारे information यहाँ AI मेला होटल यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, right? You need to check, okay all these columns are there, right? You can explore all your columns as well. If you want to check how many number of columns you have, you know that na 26. If you want to know ki just give me the name of a column and the data type that that column contains, so you have to use df.info. Df is my table name, right? So you have to use this method, shape method, sample method, head method, tail method, and df.info will give you the overall information of each 26 column, and it will start with 0 index, right? It will say ki the first column is like restaurant id and the value is like this, the second column name and the value is like this. Okay, you have overall, just check the number of rows that you have 20 like 2,11,000 rows, so it will say ki 2,11,900 2,11,944 are non null values. It means there is no null values inside this column, right? And the data type is like integer, same as it is name column with object means textual data type, established object means textual data type, ctid integer data type, float latitude longitude, again it's a geographical data, and it's a float means numerical data type, right? So you have multiple columns, and the non null values means null, like not missing values. So in this way you can particularly check all your columns and with respect to their data types ki har ek column ka mera kya kya data types. And now you know that na we have by default three different types of analysis, yes you know, the univariate analysis, the bivariate analysis, and the multivariate analysis. But I cannot directly start with like a uni, bivariate and multivariate. हमने अपना डेटा कलेक्ट किया, डेटा रैंगलिंग परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. बिफोर आई जस्ट प्रोसीड विथ लाइक द एक्सप्लोरेटरी डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन और डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स, हमें बाकी सारे स्टेप्स भी परफॉर्म करने रहते हैं, राइट? सो व्हाट आई डू, लेट मी जस्ट स्टार्ट विथ like if we have any duplicates data or not, right? So this is like my which step fourth. Step 4 is like I will try to checking duplicates. If my data set contains any duplicates, it will give me the value, right? Now how to check the duplicates? If I know this is the restaurant id, right? df, if I want to call any column name, so just simply like write this column name, and this will give you the complete column result, and we call this column as a series, right? Now what you want to just give me the shape. The shape is like कि मेरे पास इतने number of rows हैं, but just give me the unique values only, कि मेरे पास unique कितने values हैं, and unique unique, right? This will give you, you have to use the bracket as well. This will give you, you have only like 555,568 unique records. Now you know that कि आप पे overall records इतने थे, and this is the unique record. It means आप पे बाकी कैसे data है, बाकी data और are like आपका duplicated data. So what you want to drop the duplicate data ना, otherwise you will like कि आप double analysis आप perform कर लेंगे. You have to duplicate your you have to delete or drop your duplicated data as well, right? So what you have to do now, I want to drop my duplicate data. Okay, so before I just check what exactly like the number of like the duplicate data, let me just check कि मेरे पास percentage form में कितना data है, duplicated data कितना है. So I can just simply run one thing कि I know that this one is like my total data and this one is like the unique data. अगर मैं total data में से unique data minus कर दूँ, so let me write this. See, this is in tuple format. Tuple means like ये एक मेरा collection form है. If I want to get this value, for that मैं इसको square bracket में 0 लिख दूंगा, this will give me the value. एंड इसको मैं एक वेरिएबल में स्टोर कर लूंगा विच इज लाइक द टोटल डेटा इज इक्वल्स टू दिस, एंड इसको मैं स्टोर कर लूंगा यूनिक डेटा. दिस वन इज लाइक माई यूनिक डेटा. एंड वट आई वॉन्ट कि अगर मैं टोटल डेटा में से यूनिक डेटा को अगर मैं माइनस कर दूं, आई विल गेट माई डुप्लीकेटेड डेटा. एंड लेट मी रन लाइक दिस duplicate data, DUPLICAT, duplicate data. So this one is like my duplicate data. Now I'll have all three different values. डुप्लीकेट डेटा मेरा इतना है ना. आई वॉन्ट टू चेक कि मेरा परसेंटेज फॉर्म में कितना डुप्लीकेट वैल्यू है. वेरी इजी, बेसिक मैथमेटिक्स. इस डुप्लीकेट डेटा को आई विल डिवाइड विद द टोटल डेटा. दिस इज द वैल्यू एंड लेट मी जस्ट multiply the complete value by 100. It will say कि 73.78% डुप्लीकेट डेटा है. नाउ आई हैव वन राउंड फंक्शन. राउंड फंक्शन का यूज करके आई कैन से कि इसे राउंड ऑफ कर दो 2 डिजिट्स तक. इट विल से कि 73.78% मेरे पास डुप्लीकेट डेटा है. सो आई कैन से कि ओके दिस इज द डेटा, राइट. एंड लेट मी राइट लाइक दिस डुप्लीकेट परसेंट. मैंने इसे एक वेरिएबल में स्टोर कर लिया विच इज लाइक द डुप्लीकेट परसेंट. एंड आई विल राइट द फाइनल मैसेज डुप्लीकेट डेटा इन परसेंटेज. and duplicate data in percentage में I will call this variable and this will give me the value. Okay, so duplicate data in percentage is like 73.78 percentage. So I can say कि okay we have 73.78 percentage. एंड कितना मेरे पास नॉन डुप्लीकेटेड डेटा है, जस्ट 100 में से माइनस कर दो इसे. 100 माइनस 73.78 और लाइक 100 माइनस डुप्लीकेट परसेंटेज लाइक दिस डुप्लीकेट परसेंटेज. and this is like 26% आप पे यूनिक डेटा. so you can also run like this. okay, I think you are getting the point. yes या no, everyone, every respected faculty members, just let me know you are getting the point or not, कि how to particularly do analysis using Python. Dr. Satish sir, Dr. Divya
Yes, yes,
ma'am. Okay.
yes.
See, it's
Yes,
like
sir.
okay, it's like we need to particularly learn Python in very detail, right? If I want to do this analysis manually, right? But the thing is that I just want you to give you the overview so that you will get कि ठीक है इस तरीके से हम कर सकते हैं, right? But once you like learn all these stuffs, you can definitely perform all the like EDS step individually. Okay. So we have this duplicate percentage and this is like the unique percent. So I can say कि unique data PERCENT. So I have duplicate data in percentage is like 73, and let me just copy the same code and paste it. And like unique data in percentage. Okay, instead of showing duplicate data, let me just show unique data. And अब मैं ये वाले वेरिएबल को मैं कॉल कर सकता हूँ लाइक दिस. ओके, सो इट विल से कि वी हैव 26 पॉइंट यूनिक 26% एज अ यूनिक डेटा एंड 73% एज अ डुप्लीकेट डेटा. नाउ वी नो दैट ना कि डुप्लीकेट डेटा पे हम एनालिसिस का कोई मतलब नहीं है. आई कैन सिंपली ड्रॉप माई डुप्लीकेट डेटा एज वेल. सो देर इज अगेन अनदर स्टेप दैट आई कैन इंट्रोड्यूस विच इज लाइक स्टेप 5, drop duplicate data. So what I'll do, step 5 is like drop duplicates data. Now we know that we have 73.78% duplicate data. Now we want to drop this data, so we have again function for this. Now you know that na कि pandas is a module and pandas give you each and every method if you want to do your detailed data analysis. So df dot, just run this and hit tab button. It will give you the method which is like the drop duplicates. Now you want to drop duplicate based on which column? Based on this column, because this restaurant ID remains unique, it remains same, right? And you know that if you are getting the duplicate data, suppose I am getting this duplicate data, now I want to drop my duplicate data, तो मैं किसको रखना चाहूँगा? Suppose 16 और 17 मेरा duplicate है and 18 भी duplicate है, किससे? 15 से. So what I'll do, I'll say कि 15 वाले को रख लो and 16, 17, 18 को drop कर दो. So I can decide कि किसको रखना है and किसको हटाना है. So for that I'll get this argument which is like keep. Keep means किसको रखना है. So I can say कि keep में first रख सकते हैं, last रख सकते हैं. So let me write like this, keep is equals to first and it will try to keep the first data and बाकी को आपका duplicate जो है वो हटा देगा. If you just run this, it will give you the data set, right? कि 55,568 rows. Now you want to say कि do all these like changes in my original data. So it will try to return you a new data set, but आप नहीं चाहते कि एक नया डेटा आपको मिले. So you will say कि apply all this code in my original data set. So you will write like this method, which is like in place is equals to true. In place is equals to true means change all these things in my original data set. Now you just need to cross verify df dot shape. So what was like the previous df dot shape? Previous df dot shape kitna tha? You can just simply check. Df dot shape was like 2,11,000, and right now the df dot shape is like 55,000, right? So you can say that na ki now you have dropped your duplicated data, right? And you can further proceed with the rest data. Now you can just again cross verify ki df dot info, it will say ki you have all the complete values. Again you have this zip code column and with the column name, right? Again like multiple missing values. Now it's your task to check कि हर column में कितना मेरा missing values है. Now we will write the missing percentage. Okay, so before I just continue, let me just copy this code. Which one? This one, r comma c. I know that r comma c will try to give me the new data. Okay, and df dot shape give both number of rows and both number of column, and इसे मैं r comma c में store कर लूँगा. And if I just run, now it's like number of new rows or new column. It represent कि this is the new data set right now. So 2 lakh में से हमने 73% डेटा हमने ड्रॉप कर दिया. Now I have only 55,000 of data. Now I want to work analysis or do some analysis on this data set only, right? See, again you can like check your any sample data if you want to check. The sample data is just to explore any sample data. Okay? It's not mandatory, but you can do if you want, right? Now the purpose is I know that we have only right now 26 column, but I want to know कि what exactly this zip code column is and why we are getting this kind of values. है सब में 55,568 लिखा है but इसमें नहीं लिखा है because we have some missing values inside this zip code column, and you can just cross verify the same कि zip code column में we have some missing data, right? And not only some missing data, there might be chances कि बहुत ज़्यादा हो, and this is the zip code column. Now I want to check कि मेरा कितना missing data है. So for that I need to again create additional step, which is like step 6. Like in step 6 I want to check my missing values. So in programming language we generally say missing values as a null values. I want to check my null values, right? Now how to check null values? Again there is a function is na. Is na is a function you can run, and it will give you the true false like true false kind of data frame or a matrix. Now what you have to do, just simply apply this sum function. This sum function will pick every column, and if it is says 0 it means you don't have any missing values. अगर कहीं पर कुछ लिखा आ रहा है it means in that particular column you have 18 missing values, right? 18 missing values. You can again cross verify the things, right? 44,623. If you want to do the same thing na, so you know that you have to use excel for this, and you can use the count blank option, right? The count blank, and let me pick the complete entire data, right? Now we have like 2 lakhs of data. I cannot particularly like select the data set like this. So what I'll do, let me just check the range, right? The range is like k, it's like 211946. Okay, 211946. Okay, so what I'll do, it's like count blank, start with this one. Okay, and instead of k5 211946 I'll write this, and this will give you the blank data, right? So you have like 16 1,63,000 1,63,187, but this data is like before dropping the like duplicates value. If you just drop the duplicates value, so it will give you the same answer, right? Okay, so you can just cross verify na ki this sum giving you like after dropping the duplicates value, again we are getting the 44,000 as a like the null values or the missing values. And in this column timings we have 1000 missing values. Cuisines में हमारे पास 470 missing values है. Now we have three different approaches. What we have to do with this missing data? Either we can like proceed skip with the like skip the missing data. We can fill the missing data. Let me write uh, approach 1 A1 is like skip missing data. जैसा है वैसा रहने दो और skip करके आगे बढ़ो, right? The second approach is like you can fill out the missing values. Okay. And the third approach is like you can drop out the missing values, right? All these are like my very important approaches. I can use any one of them, like skip करना है, fill करना है, या missing data को ही हटा देना है. ठीक है. So before I just continue, I just want कि यार मेरे को ना ये like zip code में I have like इतना number of data, right faculties? So I want कि I don't want this in like the values, I want this in percentage form. So what you have to do, just simply do one thing, right? Instead of calling this sum, you can use the mean, right? And mean will try to give you the overall average, right? And what you have to do, just simply multiply with the 100, and it says कि in zip code you have 80% of missing data, 80 percentage of missing data. If you are getting a single column which have like which is like more than 80% of missing data, you can simply ignore that column na. You can simply eliminate that column, you can drop that column as well. Right now we are getting 1 to 2% of missing data, less than 1% of missing data, less than 1% of missing data. So it's very important to analyze this missing data. Now instead of like checking this in just a random order, what you can say, you can just say ki okay, do one thing. First of all, let's close and close this in bracket. You have again another method which is called the sort values. The sort values will try to sort the complete data in an ascending order. Now you want, I don't want this in ascending order, just say ascending is equals to false. It's not like ये मेरे को मन कर रहा है तो मैंने लिख दिया. This is the documentation, right? I can use. So you can just simply run this and it will give you the descending data, and ascending is equals to false. If you just make them true, it will give you like in ascending order. Okay, this is the documentation. We can particularly play with this, right? So zip code has like the highest number of missing values and followed by the timings and the takeaway, establishment, URL, city ID, no such missing values found, right? In terms of percentage. Now you know that visualization of missing values could be better approach rather than just analyzing in this way. Okay. So we have already imported a Seaborn module, right? Seaborn has one very important visual which is called heat map. Now what you have to do, just simply call this heat map, copy this code and paste inside this heat map, and you will get your like visual analysis of what exactly. Okay, there might be like issue, it says inconsistency shape. Okay, do one thing, no need to use all these things, right? I'll do one thing. Let me just write sns dot heat map. Inside this heat map you have to like give the code. Okay, so what I'll do, df dot is na. This is the true false data that you have. Okay, just simply do one thing now. No need to summarize this. Okay, just simply pass this inside heat map, sns dot heat map, and it will visualize this data like this. It will take some time and it should show the color gradient range as well, 0 से लेकर के 1 तक. And whenever you are getting this like the black shade, it shows कि इस वाले कॉलम में कहीं पर भी white नहीं है. It means इसमें कहीं पर भी मेरे पास missing values और null values नहीं था. But here we are getting multiple white strips. It means we have multiple missing values right here, right? So you can just use this analytical or like the visualization approach to visualize your missing data as well. Now this Seaborn is a advanced version of Matplotlib module. So if you want to show this and you want to eliminate this excess, so you have to write this code plt.show, and you can particularly show this as a missing data. You can also give the title as well. We already know that plt.title checking missing values percentage, and this will give the title as well, right? Checking missing value percentage. Okay, and here I can say ki zip code has like the highest number of missing values comparatively to the rest one, right? So in this way we can visualize our missing data as well. So now any doubt related to this, just let me know. We know that we have analyzed our missing data as well, and we have three different approaches to further go with, like either I can skip or fill, I can simply drop the missing values as well. Any doubt, let me know. Anyone? Faculties? Any doubt? Just let me know in case of any problem. Uh, for what? Class? Okay, yeah, just give me a second. Like, just give me a second. Okay. So in this way, like we can analyze this data And now we need to further proceed. Like what we have to do, we have to start with the statistical analysis, right? So the statistical analysis is like, okay, just give me a second, right? I need to write some messages. Just give me a second. Faculties, just give me some time. Actually, I'm sending some messages. Just give me a time. Okay, sorted. So now what I have to do, I have to particularly work on, like, either I can fill this data, or I can work on like the statistical analysis, or I can simply ignore the data, or I can drop the missing data as well, right? So the next step is going to step 7. The step 7 is like drop the data, right? Drop missing data, drop na. Okay, now if I just simply proceed with drop na, drop na is like drop missing data. Okay, so that this particular steps is divided into two part. You know that now zip code has like the maximum number of missing column. So you can simply drop this column, right? I don't want to drop the like nan values. I can simply drop this zip code. So what you have to do, df dot drop, and you have to write the column name. The column name is like zip code, and make sure you will get you have to write the column name like specific one, because the python is case sensitive. And the way you get all the columns, you have to write df dot columns, and just simply copy this zip code and paste it here, right? And now this column lies at axis 1. Axis 1 means columns level. Once you run this, you will get the total number of columns is 25. Before it was 26, because you have removed this. Now you want to apply the same thing, so you can just simply write this in place is equals to true, means कि मैंने original data मुझे ये change करना है, right? If you just run this, now if you just cross verify df dot shape, you will get 25 column instead of 26 column. And you can again run this code, right, to cross verify. Now you don't have any like the zip code column, and you have completely eliminated the zip code column. Now what about the rest column, right? You can drop all these columns right now, because we are having very less data with like missing percentage, we know that. So what you have to do, just simply drop missing data na, just simply use this method, which is like drop na. Drop na is like a method for dropping the nan values. Just simply run this, and now you are getting 54,219 rows. And again use the in place is equals to true. In place is equals to true means you want to apply the changes in original data set. If I just run this now, again check the df dot shape. Df dot shape is like it was previously like 55,568, and it is now 54,219, because we have completely dropped the missing values, right? Now again copy this code and now paste it. Now in this way we have cleaned our data. You can just simply check, we have no such data related to any black color. Yes or no, everyone, right? We have completely eliminated the data of like whatever the missing data that we have. And you can just cross verify by using this also. Okay, let me just copy this and paste this, and you are getting 000, and means there is no such missing value. So in step 7, let me just recap all these steps, right? Abhi tak humne kya kya kiya. Like here we are performing Zomato exploratory data analysis, like for business analysis, with the help of Python and pandas or different modules. In a step 1 we have imported all the modules and libraries. Step 2 was related to how to load data. Step 3 was get data set basic information, like what exactly the overall head value, tail value kitna hai, like the information of each columns. Then step 4 was like related to checking duplicates with the help of restaurant id. Then we checked like the overall duplicate percentage and the unique percentage as well. Then this like in the step 5 we started with the drop duplicates data, जिसमें हमने duplicates data को हटा दिया with the help of restaurant id. Now again we checked like the overall information of the column, the number of rows, the number of columns. Then step 6 is related to checking the null values, and we know that we got something zip code values is like 44,000 of null values. Now the step, now we have three approaches to do, like I can skip the missing values, fill out and drop out the missing values. So with the help of this code we check कि हमारे पास कितना missing data था in terms of percentage, right? And with the help of heat map we visualize the same data as well, right? Now we, in the step 7 we drop the missing data, and missing data, like we have completely dropped the zip code column. If we are getting the multiple columns, we have to pass it in a list format like this. ऐसे collection में हम pass कर सकते हैं, and वो multiple columns में जो data होगा वो उन्हें drop कर देगा, right? So any doubt related to this, then again we check the overall missing value, and right now we are not getting any missing value. Okay, just let me know any doubt related to any of these topics. Dr. Satish sir, Dr. Priya ma'am.
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, so just let me know very clear. समझ में आ रहा है या it's like ऊपर से जा रहा है? Because we know that this Python we need to understand, and if we want to learn Python, there is additional line like 20 to at least 30 hours of like timings we need for, if we want to learn Python. So I was just trying कि आपको overview मिल जाए like how to do all analysis and overall procedures, right, with the help of Python pandas and all, right? Dr. Aishwarya ma'am, Dr. Kavita ma'am, Dr. Tulika ma'am, any doubt related to this कि हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं and why we are writing all these codes? डॉक्टर सतीश सर आगे बढ़े.
I think this is quite similar to our studio.
Yeah, of course, R Studio. So the people were like using R language or R Studio before
Hmm.
Python, and this data scientists or statistician were using the same. But right now, because Python gives you the simplicity or like the different modules, so that's why the people are like using Python more and more, right?
Hmm.
So if you're already familiar with the R language or the R Studio, so you can do the same, right? बिल्कुल same वैसा ही है. Okay,
Hmm.
थोड़ा सा अलग है. Okay, so let me
ठीक.
just
Okay.
continue. So in this way, we know that now I have completely cleaned my data. Like the date now I don't have any missing values, and the overall values is like 000. So now what we have to do, we know that we have this clean data set. Now I can further proceed with the statistical analysis. We know that ना यहाँ पर हमारे पास एक steps था, right? We need to further work on statistical analysis like this, descriptive statistics. Okay, missing. So it's completely based upon, you can, we need to check the basic statistics की missing value check करने के लिए, how to treat that missing values. Now again we need to follow the basic statistical analysis, right? So the step 8, I think this should be the step 8. Let me copy the step 7, and the step 8 is like related to basic statistical analysis. STASTI analysis. Okay, this is the step 8, STAST, statistical analysis. Now there is a like very popular function, and we generally use this, which is like df dot describe. Describe will give you the all statistical information of all numerical column. See, we need to particularly use some additional parameters if we want to analyze my textual data, or which is like the object data type, right? What it will try to say, it will say ki we have overall count value. Now we are getting like the epsilon value, like e something, e scientific notation, right? Kind of. So what we have to do, we need to particularly round off all these value so that we can get the proper answer, right? Like this. So we can say कि we have this type of restaurant ID, इतना count है हमारा, city ID and all. Now I don't think so there is any requirement of counting like average value of a restaurant ID, the minimum restaurant ID and the maximum restaurant ID. What you can do, you can just simply check, okay, the average cost for two people, the minimum average cost, the minimum average cost for two people in any restaurant is 0. It's like quite low or like very wrong. The maximum average cost for two people of any restaurant is like close to 30,000. Like the 50th percentile value is your median value. The median value is like, it says कि 50% data का have like have their average cost of less than 350 for two people, and rest 50% data set like same average cost for two people more than 350. So this 50 percentile represent the median data, and this is like the quintile one, which is when we generally use the outliers techniques and all, the minimum data, and the standard deviation, like how much data like is deviated from a standard deviation, using the one standard deviation, two standard deviation. When we want to treat out outliers, it's very important to like find out what exactly the standard deviation values are, right? So in this way we can run this like df dot describe a statistical analysis of my numerical data. Now what about the like textual data? So you can just simply go to this brackets, and you can say include is equals to objects, right? So let me just copy this include is equals to and write this object, because we know that object is like the textual data type, and it will say नेम नाम के कॉलम में द टॉप इज लाइक द डोमिनोज पिज्जा बार बार रिपीट हो रहा है इन एस्टेब्लिशमेंट टाइप वी हैव 27 यूनिक एस्टेब्लिशमेंट टाइप ऑफ डेटा and the quick bytes is like repeating most of the time and the frequencies is like 13,825. Domino's pizza मेरे data में कितना available है? It's like 399 times available है, right? The URL, the address, like Lakshman Jhula, Tapovan, Rishikesh used most of the times, right? 36 times. So you can just simply check, okay, ये address बार बार repeat हो रहा है, right? It's not like the repeated one. It's like the like high number of frequency, right? Bangalore में सबसे ज़्यादा restaurants हैं. You can just simply say because the Bangalore का data सबसे ज़्यादा repeat हो रहा है. The civil lines and the locality verbos like the Gomti Nagar, Lucknow. The cuisine सबसे ज़्यादा like it's like North Indian. The timings is like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is very common, right? The currency is rupees, the highlights is something this, and the rating text and all. And सबसे ज़्यादा data में average लिखा हुआ है, it means Zomato has their like average restaurant in most of the cases, right? So you can use like this. This is for like my numerical analysis. Let me write 4 here, so it will give me 4 has, and this is for like numerical stats, and this one is like for textual stats or object stats. Okay, so in this way we can like analyze our statistical information, and now we have to particularly perform our basic analysis, which is like the univariate analysis, the bivariate analysis, and the multivariate analysis. Now this is going to be step 9, which is types of analysis, and we will perform here. So step 9 is like types of analysis, uni, bi, and multivariate analysis, right? So let me just copy this as an image reference, right? You can pick any of the analysis as per a requirement, right? Let me copy this image, and what I'll do in step 9, I'll perform single column or like analysis. The analysis based on what? Analysis based on uni, bi, and multivariate, right? So do one thing again, convert this into markdown by pressing M, and go to this, pick this as a image reference and drop here, right? Now we have three different analysis, and I can do data analysis or basic data understanding using three different approaches, right? The univariates, in generally we refer this as a single column analysis. The bivariate is like the two column analysis or dual column analysis, and the multivariate is like the multiple column, two or more column analysis. Now let me start with first checking how many columns that I have. So for that I will write df.column, and it says we have, okay, multiple columns, and the name of that like the length of that column is, you can simply run length function, and the overall you have 25 column. Now you can particularly plan if we want to use univariate analysis. So we have 25 column, तो हम 25 column पर analysis कर सकते हैं. It's again very hectic for a data analyst and a business analyst also, right? कि 25 column पर हम कैसे analysis करें. That's why we need to understand the dimensionality reduction concept. The dimensionality reduction concept is like कि सारे column पर हम काम नहीं करेंगे. Based on some domain knowledge we can simply eliminate the column, right? That's why we call this as a dimensionality reduction. And let me just show you the definition, right? Dimensionality reduction. Okay, so it is a technique that used to simplify data by reducing the number of features. The number of features means the number of columns, right? In just very short definition, number of features represent number of column. This is the like the very popular technique when we want to create a machine learning model. If we are getting multiple columns, we generally prefer this dimensionality reduction concept, right? Now I want to suppose I want to analyze the data like unique analysis over this name column. So first of all, what you have to do, just call this name column. You have multiple name, right? And you want to check the another column as well. Suppose establishment, you have this series as well. Now you know that that particular data is stored inside a list. List means you just simply want कि quick bytes लिखा है मेरे पास, ये list क्यों बना हुआ आ रहा है. So you need some data cleaning techniques. Okay, let me just do one thing. Before I just further proceed with data cleaning, I want to check कि मेरे पास कितना कौन सा unique data है. It will say कि I have all these unique data. Okay, and inside this unique data, क्विक बाइट्स है मेरे पास, कैजुअल बाइनिंग है, द बेकरी, कैफे, भोजनालय, ढाबा एंड ऑल. बट आई हैव वन मोर थिंग ऑल्सो विच इज लाइक द एम्प्टी लिस्ट. ओके, सो आई कैन जस्ट से कि आई हैव टू ट्रीट दिस एम्प्टी लिस्ट, अदरवाइज ये मेरे लिए इशू है. ओके, सो नाउ आई वांट टू चेक कि ये मेरे पास ये जो एम्प्टी लिस्ट जैसा इस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, ऐसे कितने डेटा टाइप्स हैं मेरे पास. सो आई नीड टू रिप्लेस दिस, राइट? So for that, what I'll do, I can simply do one thing, right? Very easy one, not nothing something else. So just simply write df के किस कॉलम पे जाना है, establishment पे जाना है. You need to, if you want to apply any string function, the string is called, ये मेरा textual data, it means string function है. So I will use this str, and str के बाद I can simply use the replace function, right? I want to replace, what I want to replace, I want to replace this list to what, nothing. And just see here, यहाँ पर देखिए मेरे सारे list हटा दिए उसने लेफ्ट साइड के. Again you know that you want to replace this also, so again use the str and again use the replace. You can use loop as well, but I want to use this. Now this time I will say कि right वाले को इस वाले से हटा देना है. Okay, एंड यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली चेक, ओके लेफ्ट का भी मेरा ब्रैकेट हट गया एंड राइट का भी मेरा ब्रैकेट हट गया, राइट? एंड यू वांट टू अप्लाई द सेम कि भाई लेट मी चेंज दी ओरिजिनल कॉलम. तो मैं कहूँगा df के एस्टेब्लिशमेंट पे जाओ एंड अप्लाई ऑल दिस सेटिंग और द फॉर्मेट और द कोड दैट आई हैव यूज्ड. एंड नाउ इफ आई जस्ट रन दिस कोड, इसी को अगर मैं दोबारा कॉपी पेस्ट करूँगा, यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली चेक कि कहीं पर भी मेरा लिस्ट नहीं लगा हुआ है. यस या नो? So in this way we can say one thing, like now the additional problem is कि इन सब के बगल में ऐसा quotes लगा हुआ है. Suppose we don't want this, like so again we can say one thing कि again str पे जाओ, replace पे जाओ, and what I want कि I want to eliminate this single quote with what, with nothing. So you can just check कि now I have nothing, and इसको I will again reapply इस सेम कॉलम के पास. नाउ इफ आई जस्ट रन दी सेम कोड कि df का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट किस टाइप का, मेरा इस टाइप का, एंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली द यूनिक वैल्यूज आर UNIQE, एंड नाउ यू डोंट हैव एनी कोड्स वैल्यू राइट नाउ. ओके, ये जो मल्टीपल कोड्स लिखा आ रहा था ना, वो कुछ उस तरीके से नहीं है. सो यू नीड टू डू सम डेटा क्लीनिंग्स टू पर्टिकुलरली वर्क ऑन, राइट? नाउ you know that कि अब हमारे पास ये blank something this है, right? And it's very important because you have quick bites, casual dining, bakery है, cafe है, ढाबा है. But what about this one? So you can just simply say कि ये जो आपके पास data है, इस डेटा को यू कैन लाइक रिप्लेस विथ अदर्स एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑल्सो. सो अगेन यू कैन यूज द सेम फंक्शन, राइट? कि भाई df के एस्टेब्लिशमेंट पे जाना है मुझे, एंड डू दिस टाइम यूज द रिप्लेस मेथड डायरेक्टली. एंड व्हाट यू वांट टू रिप्लेस, you want to replace with this others establishment, and once you run this again, it will give you the result, and you want to apply changes in original data. So आप उसके लिए क्या करेंगे, just you can write this in place is equals to true, and this will replace all the, like ये देखिए इस ये जो ये मेरे पास है ना, like the blank codes, if I just run this code, now it will give you instead of blank others establishment. So we have clean our data. Why we have cleaned this data? Because so that I can analyze my this data. Now we know that ना we are performing data cleaning and all. Statistical analysis के बाद हमें ये भी करना पड़ सकता है, पहले भी करना पड़ सकता है, right? So in this way we can use, right? Now we can directly proceed it for like further analysis, or either I can pick like another column as well. Now we have df dot columns, and हमारे पास like URL column है, establishment है, we have addresses as well, like we have city as well. See, we have timings as well, we have multiple columns, and we can particularly perform any analysis. Now let me show you how to do analysis using the columns, right? Suppose I want to do analysis over the cuisines. Okay, so this is going to be by like the step 10. Step 10 is like the visual analysis. Okay, visual analysis. Now what I want, pick any column, because we are doing like univariate analysis na, so pick any column. So let me pick the cuisines, right? I want to check, the question is like कि Zomato के पास सबसे ज़्यादा कौन सा cuisines है, right? So you can just do one thing, you can use the like the method which is called the value count, and it will say the North Indian, and you know that na North Indian पहले repeat हो रहा था. Now you are just genuinely interested in top 10 data or top 20 data or top 15 data, not more than this. So you can just convert this data into a visual analysis as well, right? So open table का आपको निकालना हो, लाइक टाइमिंग्स का निकालना हो, एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल्स का आपको निकालना हो, यू कैन यूज एनी वन ऑफ देम, राइट? सो df cuisines का dot value counts, right? Now we are not using the visual right now, but we are particularly analyzing this data. So instead of like saying this visual analysis, let me write this as series analysis, right? So value counts may, what I'll do, I'll just simply write head, and head may 10, and it will say the best cuisines that Zomato's offer, or the maximum cuisines that Zomato offers is a नॉर्थ इंडियन. सबसे ज़्यादा डिमांड जोमेटो के पास नॉर्थ इंडियन रेस्टोरेंट्स की है, एंड देन फॉलोड बाय फास्ट फूड, then again followed by North Indian and Chinese, and then bakery, and then South Indian. So if you want to like pick the tail analysis, so instead of head you can just simply say tail as well, right? So it will give you the bottom data जिसमें Zomato में like cuisines बहुत सारे एक जगह लिखे, and you don't want to use this because ये एक साथ सारे हमारे available है, right? So all these are my like the series analysis. You can pick another series and do the same analysis as well, right? Okay, now if I just want to like do analysis over the like suppose the city, right? कि Zomato के किस किस रेस्टोरेंट में कैसे कैसे मेरे पास डेटा अवेलेबल है, right? So I'll call this city, and let me again use the method which is like the value count. The value count is like कि it will count the values, right? And वो sort करके आपको अपने आप रिटर्न कर देगा in a descending order. सबसे ज़्यादा Zomato के रेस्टोरेंट कहाँ पर है? The maximum number of restaurant like the Zomato है, वो हमारा Bangalore में है. The Bangalore has the like highest number of restaurants. So you can particularly like call these as a series, and if you want to convert this series into a data frame, so you can simply reset this index, or you can do one thing कि आप यहाँ पर आ करके see, first of all I want like the top 10 data. So it says कि maximum number of restaurant Bangalore में है, then followed by Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, New Delhi, and then Lucknow. If you want to convert this into data frame, you can simply write this code. It will convert this data into a tabular format. Instead of, if you don't want to use this, so we have additional like index for the same, which is like reset index. हम ये भी use कर सकते हैं, reset index, and it will give you the same information like the city and the city and the data frame and the data frame. But the thing is that here we are getting the city name at index level, and here we are getting my index level properly, and with the column name as like city and the count. So sometime we need to use this, and kabhi kar हमें इसका use करना पड़ जाता. If I am doing like data analysis in like Python, so instead of like 10 I can also refer like मुझे 15 का दिखा दो, तो ये टॉप 15 दिखा देगा मुझे. लेट मी जस्ट राइट हेयर 15 एज वेल. सो ये इट विल से कि द मोस्ट पॉपुलर वन इज़ लाइक द बैंगलोर वन, एंड द आपका जो है टॉप 15 में इट्स लाइक द 15th वन पे मेरा सूरत है, ठीक है? सो यू कैन लाइक पर्टिकुलरली कॉल दिस, एंड इफ यू वांट टू लाइक विजुअली एनालाइज दिस डेटा, so you can convert this data into a visual form of analysis. Now what I'll do, let me just do one thing. I know that ki this represent my like top 15 cities. So what I'll do, I can just simply write top 15 cities, and मैंने इसको एक as a variable में store कर लिया, right? So I want to convert this into visual analysis, right? So let me change the step 10 as visual series and visual analysis, right? And we know that na ki if I want to like visually analyze my data, so for that we need we can use like the seaborn as well, or we can use the matplotlib module as well. We have multiple modules, right? हम कोई भी use कर सकते हैं. Let me create a bar plot, and what I want to pick data. मैं कौन सा डेटा का बार प्लॉट बनाना चाहता हूँ? टॉप 15 डेटा का. ओके. एक्स एक्सिस में विच डेटा आई वांट टू शो. एक्स एक्सिस में आई वांट टू शो डेटा. लेट मी जस्ट चेक दिस डेटा फर्स्ट. टॉप 15 ये किस तरीके का दिख रहा है? लाइक दिस. आई वांट टू शो इन एक्स एक्सिस एज अ सिटी and y में as a count, right? I want to show the count only. And you have to run the plt.show, and it will give you the complete data, right? The bar plot. If you want to change the orientation, you just need to simply change this value, right? Y bana do city and this bana do x, like it will convert into like the bar plot आपका. The bar plot kind of something this, and you know that ना कि Bangalore has the highest one and the Surat is the like top 15 में आपका last one है. ठीक है. Now if you want to color out all these things, so we have additional method for this, and if we want to color out based on city, so I can simply give this hue parameter and मैं run करूँगा. This will give me the like overall coloring of the data based on like the city values that I have, right? I can change the color as well. If you want to show the values, you have to particularly use the label concept and all, right? And let me just write कि इसका title क्या है. The title is like top 15 restaurants by city, या टॉप 15 रेस्टोरेंट्स यहाँ पर बाय सिटी आपका, लाइक दिस. एंड जस्ट रन दिस. इट विल गिव यू टॉप 15 restaurants by city. Like in this way we can simply give the title as well, right? If you want to show the values, so what you have to do, you have to use this access container, and you need to run the for loop as well. For I in access dot containers. See, it's like again the complete approach, right? ये सब हमें सीखना पड़ता है. And you have to write like this plt dot bar label and just simply pass this I, and this will give the each containers value, right? इसका कितना था, इसका कितना था and all. And you know that ना यहाँ values overlap कर रहे हैं, so for that you need to increase the figure size. So all these completely based upon, see, as a business analyst you no need to worry about all these codes and all. You need to just understand all these things कि इस तरीके से analysis होता है. Once the data analyst or any data scientist give you the project like this, you will get to know, okay, इस तरीके से किया जा सकता है, right? Just change this figure size. You can control the figure size. This is the length value, this is the width value, and you can just check, okay, 15 by 5, right? I think the very आपका ज़्यादा हो गया. Let me just change this to 10 by 5, right? I think this one is perfect, right? 10 by 5, right? Like this, okay? So you can particularly change your figure size as well, and the count and the overall data that you are getting. So in this way we can visualize our data कि Zomato restaurant में सबसे ज़्यादा city कहाँ से है मेरा? It's like close to Bangalore, right? So I can use this. What about like the bottom cities? So I can simply use the bottom one. So what you have to do, just simply copy this code. Very easy, right? Once you know the approach or the like the pipeline कि हमें कैसे करना है, you just need to particularly copy paste and code, right? Bottom 15 city, and you know that instead of head you can just simply call tail. And let me just copy the same code, and यहाँ पर मैंने paste कर दिया. And instead of like top 15 cities, let me write the bottom 15 cities, एंड रेस्ट वैल्यू रिमेन सेम, राइट? वो देखिए मुझे टॉप की बजाय बॉटम बता देगा. एंड instead of top just write the same thing as bottom 50 cities and restaurant, like this. Any doubt related to this? No? Anyone? Any faculties? सबसे ज़्यादा सबसे कम रेस्टोरेंट कहाँ पर है मेरा? इट्स लाइक इन नया गांव, राइट? यू कैन जस्ट एक्सप्लोर वेयर द नया गांव इज. एंड बॉटम में भी लाइक आपका श्रीनगर जो है इज लाइक एट टॉप, एंड बॉटम में भी सबसे बॉटम पर इट्स लाइक द ग्रेटर नोएडा, निमराहा, हावड़ा, the Kharagpur, Faridabad and all, right? So in this way you can analyze this data, right? ये मेरा top हो गया, यहाँ पर ये मेरा bottom analysis हो गया, bottom 50 restaurants, and you know that ना कि एक बार आपको code का idea लग गया, you can just simply cut paste the overall code and you can analyze your data as well, right? So any doubt related to this? Any faculties बताइए? Any question related to this? Anyone? Dr. Satish sir, Dr. Tulika ma'am, Dr. Kavita ma'am, Dr. Priya ma'am. See, it will take some time. Like it's not like कि आपको ये first time में अभी clear हो जाएगा. Just try to repeat the videos again and again and do some analysis from your side. Then you will get to know कि ठीक है, इस तरीके से हम यहाँ पर proper work कर सकते हैं, analysis कर सकते हैं and proper तरीके से हम use कर सकते हैं, right? Now we know that ki we perform like the top analysis as well, the bottom analysis as well, right? And right now so far we have like already learned how to particularly create figures as well, visuals as well, and it took almost 279 lines of code right now, okay? And this is a complete notebook or a report that you generally use when you want to analyze your data set from step 1 to multiple step, and it's not completed yet, right? We need to perform the multiple analysis as well. Now let me again check the number of columns that I have, or the name of column. It like the restaurant ID name. Suppose I want to check analysis based on some names, right? Name ke basis par. So what I'll do, I'll call this name, and you know that this is the like restaurant name, and what you want, again you want to check the value counts, right? You know that ना सबसे ज़्यादा the Zomato has tie up with the Domino's pizza, right? सबसे ज़्यादा it's close to 399, right? So you know that if you want to just analyze your top 15 or top 20 data, you can just simply call this, and this is the like top 15 data, or the top 15 restaurant like the Zomato has the tie up with already, like the Domino's pizza, Cafe Coffee Day, KFC, Baskin and Robbins, Subway, McDonald, and Pizza Hut and all, right? So you need to reset this data. I will write reset index, and this will give me like in data frame format, and instead of like bottom 15 cities, I will copy the same variable and I will write this top top 15 restaurants, top 15 restaurants chain, right? RESTAURANTS, top 15 restaurants chain. Just run this, and now what you have to do, if you need to write the code again from scratch, you can write, otherwise I'll copy this. I know that now I have to just simply change this data, right? कि data में bottom 15 की बजाय just call this top 15 data, and y में क्या होना चाहिए? Let me just check this data again कि data है क्या मेरा. It's like name and count. So you know that instead of like city, you just need to give the name, and even there you need to give the name, and instead of like the bottom 50 restaurant, it should be like the top 15, and top 15 restaurants chain, not the restaurants by city. You can run like this, okay? Restaurants chain, and this will give you the Domino's has the highest numbers of restaurant chain when it comes to like the Zomato से जो tie up की अगर मैं बात करूँ. The second tie up like the Zomato has with the Cafe Coffee Day and the KFC. The fourth one is like the Baskin and Robbins. So it's like the top 15 restaurant chain in India by Zomato. You can give the title as well, right? इस तरीके से भी हम लिख सकते हैं. Now what about bottom 15? Now just let me know bottom 15 के लिए क्या करें? Anyone? I know that already. How to do this? Bottom 15 के लिए, instead of calling this as a head, I can simply copy this and paste it here, and I can call, instead of give me the head data, just give me the tail data, and it's not like the top data, it is going to be the bottom data, bottom 15 restaurant change. And let me run the data frame as well, and it says ki Baithak Hotel Raj Mahal only one data, toast like Toasties only one data, Dulles only one data. So you don't need, I don't think there is a requirement of converting this data into a data like the visual analysis, because वो कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है, right? So instead of calling the bottom 15 data, let me just call the bottom 5 restaurant chain and just change the value from like 15 to 5, and here from 15 to 5. Now you have this bottom 5 restaurant chain, and you don't need to like particularly analyze this or visualize this, because here you can see that कि एक ही एक लिखा हुआ है. सो आई डोंट थिंक कि इसका अगर बार भी बनाएंगे तो कुछ अच्छा एनालिसिस हमें देखने को मिलेगा. यस या नो? So in this way, like we can particularly perform what exactly the overall univariate analysis are, right? Now, so we know how to do analysis with like the pandas or the numpy or the matplotlib. Now what about, because we have a multiple columns, हमने city के base पे देख लिया, name के base पे देख लिया. Now what about the establishment type? Let me just copy the establishment, and df ka establishment, just write the establishment, and again you can use the same method which is like the value count, right? It will give you the value counts. Now you can say कि सबसे ज़्यादा the establishment that Zomato के पास जो है, it's like quick bites के ज़्यादातर रेस्टोरेंट्स के टाइप हैं हमारे पास, establishment type, and the casual dining second, and the third one is like the cafe, जो जिनका सबसे ज़्यादा टाइप है. Now you know that you want to analyze top 10, top 20, top 50, top 30, you can do anything. So let me just write the head, and head में I'll give the 10, and 10 के बाद I will give the reset index. See, you can see that ना कि यहाँ पर here we are using the same code again and again, right? Because the approach remains same, right? आप इसी तरीके से आप analysis करते हैं. Now let me just write top 10, top 10 restaurants by establishment. Okay, top 10 restaurants by establishment. This is the data frame, and let me call this data frame like this, and now I can simply convert this data frame into like the good visual. So what I'll do, again I'll copy the same visual, and you know that na कि here we are getting the same color and color, right? So you can change the color as well, उसके लिए भी हमारे पास option है, but let me show it here. Instead of top 15 restaurant chain, I will use top 10 restaurants by establishment. Top 10 restaurants by establishment, and this should be there. Instead of name आप वहाँ पर establishment को pass करेंगे. Here you will pass the same establishment, and once you run this, you will get like top 15 restaurant chain. No, it should be like top 10, restaurants by establishment. Let me copy this and paste it here, and just you can simply edit this, right? Top 10 restaurants by establishment. So the quick bites like numbers are very high, and casual dining then followed by cafe, bakery, desert parlor, and all, right? If you want to change the color, you can change the color as well, right? So I don't think there is any doubt related to this. Anyone, any question? So in this way, particularly we can analyze our data, and that can be used as a like a new like univariate analysis, right? So we can particularly use univariate analysis for like a single column analysis, right? Now we know that we can particularly analyze, like instead of top 10 we can use the bottom 10 as well, right? So let me just do it very fast. यहाँ पर top 10 हटा करके what I'll do, bottom 10 restaurants, and instead of head I will use the tail. Let me run this and copy this code, paste it here. And why I'm pasting this, like because top and bottom में बस मेरा फर्क किसका है, यहाँ वेरिएबल नेम का फर्क है, right? So instead of top just simply write bottom, right? And instead of top यहाँ पर भी आप बॉटम लिख सकते हैं. नाउ यू विल चेक, ओके, द बॉटम में द पॉपअप टाइप ऑफ एस्टेब्लिशमेंट आर लाइक वेरी लो इन नंबर, एंड बॉटम में भी पब जो है वो आपका एटलीस्ट 355 के आसपास आपके पास है. सो इन दिस वे यू कैन पर्टिकुलरली चेक कि भाई टॉप कौन सा चल रहा है आपका, बॉटम आपका कौन सा चल रहा है, राइट? क्विजीन्स के बेसिस पर हमने देखा, ठीक है. लेट मी जस्ट चेक हमने क्या क्या परफॉर्म किया. वी परफॉर्म बेस्ड ऑन लाइक द रेस्टोरेंट्स, ठीक है, रेस्टोरेंट्स के बेसिस पे हमने किया. अच्छा, क्विजिन्स का हमारा यहीं पर था लाइक सीरीज एनालिसिस. ओके, डू वन थिंग, इस सीरीज की बजाय यहाँ पर भी यू कैन यूज़ द विजुअल एनालिसिस एज वेल, राइट? सो df.cuisines.head, एंड यू कैन राइट, you can say कि top 10 restaurants by cuisine as well, right? So let me just reset the index, and it is like top 10 restaurants or top 10 restaurants by cuisines, right? Yeah, top 10 cuisines, no, top 10 restaurants by cuisines, right? So top 10 restaurants by cuisines. Okay, this is the variable name, and just run this variable name and just check कि top 10 ही है. Yes, it's a value count head and then reset index. Oh, it should be like top 10, not top 1. And just run this, you will get this top 10 restaurants by cuisines. Now you know that कि इसका भी हम charts में convert कर सकते हैं. So just copy this and convert this into the bar plot. Again, same thing, and write this as top 10 restaurants by cuisines. And this instead of establishment, यहाँ पर हम establishment को हटा के cuisines को पास कर देंगे. Here we will do the same thing like the cuisines, and instead of top 10 by establishment, just copy this variable name, paste it here, and just change this to top 10 restaurants by cuisines. Now you will have this data कि सबसे ज़्यादा cuisines मेरा किसके basis पे, like the North Indian. And again you can you know that कि आप bottom 10 भी यहाँ पर आप perform कर सकते हैं, या you can like perform bottom 5 analysis, bottom 2 analysis, right? In this way you know that कि we have multiple things to do. We can achieve like any univariate analysis as per our requirement, and I don't think कि there is any problem related to this. Yes or no? So it's very important, right? Now what about if I want to analyze my data based on other columns, right? So let me give a task. मैं ये task आप पे छोड़ता हूँ. It's like टॉप हमने यहाँ पर निकाल दिया. स्टेप 10 सीरीज एनालिसिस एंड विजुअल्स. आप इसी का क्विजिंस का ट्राई टू डू लाइक द बॉटम 10 एनालिसिस और बॉटम 5 एनालिसिस, राइट? नाउ वी हैव the price range column as well, and the average cost for two column, and the latitude and longitude. We can simply ignore the latitude and longitude, but we can pick the locality, right? So let me just pick the price range, and based on this price range and analyze the data, right? So you know that ना बार बार हमें ऊपर जाना पड़ रहा है. So what I'll do, I'll just simply write the df dot columns. यहाँ पर मुझे df dot column सारा यहाँ पर show हो जाएगा. Now what I'll do, I'll say कि inside this df.columns, I want to analyze my data based on the price range. And you know that you can simply run the price range like this, value counts, okay? So the maximum price range is like 1, the 2 and 3 and 4. Now the problem is that I don't know what kind of price range is this. Okay, so let me do one thing. I'll copy this data and I'll go to ChatGPT. And I'll simply ask, I am I am I am doing like EDA on Zomato data and got price range below given, right? Now I just want what exactly it reverse like it represent. Okay, just wanted to know what it represent. Okay, just simply paste this. Now it will try to like do some context with the context of like the Zomato data set, and it has given something like one is like the budget friendly, the two is like moderate, and the third is like expensive, the fourth is like luxury. So you can just say ना कि हाँ one पे सबसे ज़्यादा data आ रहा है. It represent कि yes one is budget friendly, right? So it's not like कि I'll take reference of a chat GPT to sort out all this problem. No, दिस शुड बी द पार्ट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन. जो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हमारा बना होगा ना उसमें लिखा होगा व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस वन रिप्रेजेंट, बट राइट नाउ आई डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दी वन रिप्रेजेंट. सो आई कैन टेक हेल्प ऑफ दिस, राइट? एंड यू कैन इंटरप्रेट ऑल दिस थिंग्स. You can pick the complete table and you can say कि Zomato has like the more number of data set related to like the majority are like budget friendly, and very least number are like from like the luxury or the higher end background, right? So I copy this all things, just go to this and paste it here, right? And make this comment out so that it represent कि one मेरा budget friendly है, two मेरा moderate, and the third one is expensive, and the fourth one is like the luxury and high end. Now I want to convert this into a visual representation so that I can analyze these things also, right? Now I know that for this we have a count plot, because I just really want to count the number of data. not the like other things, right? Instead of like particularly summarizing all these things, I can simply say sns dot count plot. What exactly I want to count? Let me just first give data, and the x value is I want to like the count, I want to use the count plot for this price range. Okay, and if you just run this with the plt dot show, it will give you the overall count plot like the 1 2 3 and 4. Now you can like particularly give your title as well, figure size, x label, y label, you can change all these things, right? So let me do one thing. First of all, I want to change the color, right? So because what exactly I am getting is like the same color, so I can use the color palette, right? So for that I have this argument which is like the palette, and inside palette I have multiple lists, right? I can simply pass rainbow as well, it will try to convert this in rainbow. I have cool as well, ये cool में convert कर देगा. I can use the magma as well. See, it's like convert this is magma. Okay, so let me use the magma right now. Okay, now plt dot title, the title is now, you know that it's a like a number of restaurants by price range na, so you can just simply say number of restaurants by price range. Okay, this is the title, number of restaurants by price range. Now what exactly this x axis represent price range, very good. Y represent the count data. Now you want to show something कि a one किसको represent करता है, two किसको represent करता है. Yes, we can do the same thing, right? So for that let me just use the plt dot legend option. We have this legend option, and we need to create a list for this if I want to show the legend, right? So let me do one thing. I need to like this, write like this key one represent budget friendly. Just copy this and paste it here, right? This is my one list, one element, right? One represent budget friendly. और डू वन थिंग, जो स्पेस है हटा दो, एंड लेट मी राइट लाइक दिस. ठीक है, वन इज़ माई बजट फ्रेंडली, या वी कैन ऑल्सो यूज लाइक दिस. ओके, कॉपी दिस, या कॉपी नहीं करना है. टू टू इज़ बाय आपका मॉडरेट, जस्ट कॉपी दिस एंड राइट लाइक दिस, टू इज़ फॉर मॉडरेट. द थर्ड वन इज़ लाइक फॉर एक्सपेंसिव. ओके, सी इन केस ऑफ एनी डाउट यू कैन आस्क मी, राइट? इट्स नॉट लाइक कि वन साइडेड मैं जस्ट बोलते जा रहा हूँ और समझ नहीं आ रहा है. जस्ट लेट मी नो इफ इट इज़ like if you're not getting the point, right, why I'm doing this. And if I just simply write plt.legend, it will try to run and plt okay, there is a problem, you need to apply the bracket over there, right? And it will say ki okay, one is like budget friendly, two is like moderate, three is like expensive, and the fourth one is luxury. Instead of like passing this as a comment, you can use this, right? Now you know that you need to give the remarks and insight as well, na? The more restaurants are from like budget friendly, and the least one are like from the luxury one. So you can like analyze in this way, and this is very important one, right? If you want to deeply analyze your data, right? Now we have another column as well. Okay, df dot columns, and it's a data analyst responsibility to create all these things and to like work on data analysis, data cleaning and all. But the business analyst should know ki, okay, in this way the data analyst has to do all these things, right? Now what about we have like additional column which is like the average cost for two people. We know that कि किसी रेस्टोरेंट में there should be like दो दो लोगों का ये एक एवरेज कॉस्ट है. नाउ व्हाट आई वांट, I want to analyze my average cost for two people. So what exactly it represent, right? Okay. So let me do one thing. It's very important one steps, right? If I just use a value count, it says कि सबसे ज़्यादा average cost for two people जो है it's like 200, and most of the data belongs to like average cost for two people close to 200. So what I want, I know that we have the price range as well, and we have the average cost for two as well, right? Okay, suppose if I want to know कि one वाला price range मेरा क्या, it's like the budget friendly. So what I need to do, I just simply call this price range. Okay, and inside this price range I will use the minimum function. This will give me the minimum value, and I will use the maximum function. Or let me do one thing, let me use aggregation. And aggregation is an approach that I can pass minimum and maximum at once, right? This will give me two data which is like the minimum and maximum, and I can simply convert this. See, I want to like check the minimum and maximum only for my one price range. The one is like कि वन यानी ये जो सबसे ज़्यादा बजट फ्रेंडली है ना, बजट में मिनिमम कितना था एंड बजट वाले में मैक्सिमम कितना था. सो व्हाट आई डू, I'll write double is equals to, and double is equals to is like for comparison, and I will say okay, give me the data related to this, and this is the data frame which only has like आपका budget friendly data set. ये आपका budget friendly data set है. Now what I want, in like within this data set I want to check the average cost for two people कि इस वन वाले में मीन्स जो आपका बजट फ्रेंडली डेटा है उसमें एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल, एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल क्या है, इट्स लाइक उसमें मैक्सिमम कितना है. द मैक्सिमम इज लाइक द 450. बजट फ्रेंडली में द मैक्सिमम कॉस्ट इज लाइक 450, एंड लेट मी कॉपी दिस. बजट फ्रेंडली में ही द मिनिमम कॉस्ट इज लाइक जीरो. सो आई कैन से कि जो मेरा बजट फ्रेंडली है इट्स लाइक क्लोज टू जीरो टू 450. सो आई नीड टू राइट लाइक दिस कि जो मेरा बजट फ्रेंडली है इट्स लाइक द वन वन रिप्रेजेंट इज लाइक आपका 0 to 450 का रेंज. सो यू नीड टू गिव ऑल दिस थिंग्स राइट. सो आई कैन जस्ट सिंपली से कि like we have four different price range ना, price 1 2 3 4. So what I'll do, I'll write P1 का minimum कितना है, P1 का minimum is like this. So what I'll do, मैं इस कोड को इसके आगे पेस्ट कर दूंगा. ओके, P1 का मैक्सिमम कितना है, P1 का मैक्सिमम आई एम गेटिंग P1 का मैक्सिमम विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस कोड राइट. मैं इसके आगे पेस्ट कर दूंगा. सेम आई विल कॉपी एंड पेस्ट ऑल कोड्स विद द P2 का मिनिमम कितना है, हेयर आई हैव कन्वर्टेड दिस टू 2 और इसे भी मैं 2 में कन्वर्ट कर दूंगा. और P2 का मैक्स कितना है, यहाँ पर मैं P2 में कन्वर्ट कर दूंगा राइट. सेम आई विल राइट विद द P3 का प्राइस रेंज का मिनिमम पता लग जाए, मैं 3 यहाँ पर चेंज कर दूंगा, एंड P3 का विद द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, एंड इधर मैंने 3 चेंज कर दिया. I'll do same with the P4. प्राइस 4 का मुझे मिनिमम रेंज पता लग जाए एंड प्राइस 4 का मुझे मैक्सिमम रेंज पता लग जाए. ओके, व्हाई आई एम डूइंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स, द प्राइस सी इट्स वेरी लाइक वेरी बेसिक स्टेप कि बजट फ्रेंडली में सबसे कम से कम दो लोगों का खर्चा कितना लगेगा. इट्स लाइक एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल व्हेन इट कम्स टू बजट फ्रेंडली, एंड मैक्सिमम कितना जा रहा है. मॉडरेट में एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल मिनिमम कितना है, मॉडरेट में एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल मैक्सिमम कितना है, एक्सपेंसिव में एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल इज व्हाट, एंड एक्सपेंसिव में एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर टू पीपल इज व्हाट राइट. सेम एज इट इज यहाँ पर हमने ये चारों का कैलकुलेट कर लिया, लाइक P1 मिनिमम, P1 मैक्सिमम, P2 मिनिमम, P2 मैक्सिमम, P3 मिनिमम, P3 मैक्सिमम, P4 मिनिमम एंड P4 मैक्सिमम. नाउ आई नो दैट आई कैन सिंपली प्रिंट ऑल P's राइट, P1 minimum and P1 maximum right, P1 minimum and P1 maximum. And let me copy this, paste and paste, and here I will convert this to 2 3 and 4, and let me convert this to 2 3 and 4. Now I know that कि जो मेरा बजट फ्रेंडली है वो 0 से 450 रुपये का ही कॉस्ट लगता है दो लोगों का. जो इट्स लाइक द सेकेंड थिंग इज वॉज लाइक मॉडरेट, मॉडरेट का खर्चा मेरा 250 से लाइक 250 to 999 के बीच में. एक्सपेंसिव इज लाइक 500 to 1900, and P4 में why, okay, the problem related to this, that's why I am getting 450 right. Let me convert this. Now I can say कि जो मेरा luxury है, luxury में minimum at least like it shows कि if I just spend like 1000 rupees I can get the luxuries like जो भी मेरे पास है luxuries option from the Zomatos right. So minimum luxury charges by the Zomato is like 1000, and the maximum luxury charge is like 30,000. So in this way वी हैव एनालाइज दिस ग्रुप राइट कि हमारे पास P से लेकर के सारे मैक्सिमम रेंजेस एंड मिनिमम रेंजेस हमारे पास एग्जैक्टली क्या है. नाउ आई कैन से कि ओके, सो इन दिस वे like we have different data set and we have different values. Now what I want to analyze my distribution of cost price कि मेरा किस तरीके से distribution है right. So what I'll do, let me, बिकॉज आई एम डूइंग विजुअल एनालिसिस ना, सो ये मेरा स्टेप 10, ये मेरे स्टेप 10 पे ही रहेगा. बट इनसाइड दिस स्टेप 10 आई एम डूइंग लाइक एवरेज कॉस्ट का प्राइस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसा है. ओके, what exactly the average cost price distribution. So for that, what I'll do, I will use Seaborn KD plot. The KD plot is like kernel density estimator plot. It will try to plot histogram in just a like density estimator plot के basis पे. Okay, what I'll do, मुझे किसका पता करना है, average cost for two people, and let me just plot this and plt dot show. And what I want, let me run this, it will say कि average cost for two people is like the ज़्यादातर जो डेटा है ना आपके पास वो 5000 से कम पे ही है. इट शोज कि ज़्यादातर जो कस्टमर्स हैं वो आपके 500 से लाइक 5000 प्राइस से नीचे, एंड 5000 प्राइस से नीचे मीन्स आपके ज़्यादातर जो है वो P3 तक आ रहे हैं. P3 रिप्रेजेंट एक्सपेंसिव. इट शोज कि ज़्यादातर जो कस्टमर्स आपके पास आते हैं फ्रॉम बजट फ्रेंडली टू मॉडरेट एंड टू एक्सपेंसिव वन, ज़्यादा जो लग्जरी है वो बहुत कम है. राइट नाउ आई कैन डू वन थिंग, I can change this limit, right? ये मेरा जो x limit है and this is my y limit. I can also change this. So for that I need to use this plt dot x limit, and I know that the maximum data that I am getting is 5000 to 6000. So I can use this 0 से लेकर के just show this to 6000 value, right? X limit data, and it will try to say कि ज़्यादातर जो आपके customers हैं inside 1000 values. इट रिप्रेजेंट कि ज़्यादातर जो कस्टमर्स हैं मेरे या तो बजट फ्रेंडली में आ रहे हैं या मॉडरेट के बेसिस में आ रहे हैं. सो इन दिस वे लाइक वी कैन एनालाइज दिस डेटा. ओके, एंड वी नीड टू रन ऑल दिस कोड, and we need to run we need to particularly segregate all the analysis based on the different different columns, whether it is like univariate analysis purpose or like bivariate or like for any multivariate analysis, right? So just let me know कि ये समझ में आया कि किस तरीके से like the data analyst need to write all these codes, वो किस तरीके से यहाँ पर perform करता है, and they can particularly then draw some insights based on this, right? And let me give the title also, which is like average cost for two. आई थिंक यहाँ पर मुझे एक्स लेवल में दिख ही रहा. आई डोंट थिंक देर इज़ अ रिक्वायरमेंट, राइट? सो यू कैन जस्ट लाइक फर्दर प्रोसीड. ठीक है कि इस तरीके से देर इज़ अ लाइक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ माई एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉर two people, right? Now if you want to change the color as well, you can change the color, and let me write the color as blue, so it will give the like overall color in blue format. So इस तरीके से you can analyze this data, right? So now we know that we analyzed overall data based on like multiple columns, multiple analysis and all, right? Now I want to check the rest column, and based on that how to particularly analyze my data. And in upcoming like the 30 minutes I want to finally summarize this data, and I want to draw some insights so that I can take decision based on the analysis that I have performed, right? ये सारा कोड हमें कुछ इस तरीके से यहाँ एनालाइज करना पड़ता है, right? Now let me pick the another column. I have country ID, currency as well, delivery locality, longitude, latitude, and we have the like rating text as well. And let me just run this. It is like the very good or like very good, excellent, and you can just simply say count values, like the value count. So it will say that the maximum you are getting is like the average rating, and then followed by good, and then very good, and not rated, and excellent, and poor. So let me just do one thing. I'll say कि मुझे head में बस 6 rating बता दो. So it is like these are the most rated restaurant, and the average one is the average, right? कि सबसे ज़्यादा जो average rating या ज़्यादा rating हुई है किसी भी रेस्टोरेंट्स की जोमेटो में, इट्स लाइक द एवरेज रेटिंग. एंड वी हैव 570 रेस्टोरेंट्स जिनका रेटिंग हमारा जो है इज एट लाइक पुअर लेवल. ओके, द वेरी गुड इज एट लाइक 10,000 level, and the good one and the average one, right? Now if you want to convert this into pie chart, now you can just simply say okay dot plt dot plot. You no need to like use the matplot even Seaborn. You can just simply say okay, convert this into pie chart, and it will convert this plot into pie chart as well, right? Dot plot and kind is equals to pi, and it will say okay, this is the value, right? We are getting the average, good, the very good, not rated and all, right? And in this way we can simply convert like the series into a pie chart, and we can further analyze that data as well, right? If we want to convert this into like the bar chart as well, so मैं यहाँ पर plt में like plot में I can use the kind is equals to bar as well, and it will give me the bar data as well, right? इस तरीके से मुझे show कर देगा. But I think the like the pie chart is the better one, right? In this way we can analyze this data. Now what about we have another column as well, like df dot, मैं tab button press करूँगा. We have the column like related to aggregated column, right? We have this aggregated rating. Now what exactly this aggregated rating? Aggregated rating shows ki overall it's already like aggregated in nature. Now I want to check, I just want the overall distribution, not like the values count and all, right? So what I'll do, I can just simply say, okay, again do one thing, what exactly you were doing with the KD plot, like average cost for two people. So instead of average cost for two people, I'll say कि मुझे aggregate rating का मुझे KD plot यहाँ पर show करो, and you can just simply check. Let me just remove this PLTX limit, and it shows कि ज़्यादातर जो customers हैं they have rated like in between 3 to 4. They have rated in between 3 to 4. कुछ customers जो हैं जिन्होंने जीरो से like जीरो टू particularly 1 के बीच में rate किया है, 1 से 2 में बहुत कम customers हैं, and the most of the customers are like between 3 to 4, and the maximum is the 5 that you can say, right? 5 से ज़्यादा नहीं है. Perfect. So in this way you can use this KD plot and to particularly check the overall distribution of your like ratings कि वो ratings आपका किस तरीके से. If you want to fill this, you can use this argument which is like the fill, okay? And fill पे you can just simply write this true, and it will fill out the like the KD plot as well, and you can give the title as well, and just try to finalize, just try to identify like how exactly that you are getting all these things, right? And if you want to like चेक कि सबसे ज़्यादा रेटिंग और सबसे कम रेटिंग किस चीज़ का दिया, यू कैन ऑल्सो यूज़ द एग्रीगेट रेटिंग एंड डॉट वैल्यू काउंट्स. वी ऑल नो दैट, राइट? हम इस तरीके से भी ये कर सकते हैं. ज़्यादातर रेटिंग हमें जीरो की मिली है, राइट? ज़्यादातर रेटिंग एंड देन फॉलोड बाय 3.9 एंड देन 3.8. सो यू कैन डू वन थिंग ना, यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली से डॉट प्लॉट and plot the kind is equals to line plot, and it will convert this into line. So ये कुछ इस तरीके से मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. So right now I'll do one thing, I'll again like create, let me just do one thing because I have this aggregated data, right? So what I'll do in like directly value counting, I can just say कि do one thing, sort this data in index format, right? So that मेरे पास जीरो से लेकर के आगे तक का सीक्वेंस में डेटा रहे, like from 0 to 4.9. अदरवाइज वो एनालाइज नहीं आप कर पाओगे. एंड नाउ यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली से ओके प्लॉट दिस डेटा एंड यूज kind is equals to line plot. And now in this way you can say कि ज़्यादातर rating is like at 0, and then उसके बाद वन रेटिंग एंड देन फॉलोड बाय आपका 2 से लेकर के 5 के बेसिस पर, राइट? सो द मोस्ट ऑफ द रेटिंग्स आर लाइक इन 0. सो इन दिस वे यू कैन पर्टिकुलरली से कि दिस इज द एग्रीगेटेड रेटिंग लाइक you can use. Okay, so any doubt related to this, let me know. Anyone, any faculties? डॉक्टर सतीश सर, लाइक ओवर तो नहीं हो गया, ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो गया? डॉक्टर ऐश्वर्या मैम, what exactly I feel कि ज़्यादा हो गया है, right? Because you don't know how to use the Python. And नहीं, see, I'm not quoting you don't know, like some of the faculty is already aware of these things, but I just really want कि थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आ रहा है. It's not like कि बहुत ऊपर से निकल जाए. For at least like this level of analysis और इतना code write करने के लिए we need to learn all these Python concepts, matplotlib, seaborn on all this. Then we can like further analyze our data and draw some insights based on like the Python coding. जो data analyst है ना, वो उसको कुछ इस तरीके से ही work करना पड़ता है. Okay, now we have performed all like the relation like the analysis related to like univariate analysis. Now suppose I want to perform the analysis like for bivariate analysis, like for like both two column, right? So I can use like the bivariate analysis, and let me just do one thing, df dot columns, and we know that when we want to show the bivariate analysis we need to pick two columns. So what I want to show the relationship between the price range and the rating. Okay, so let me show. रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द प्राइस रेंज एंड द रेटिंग्स, राइट? कि प्राइस रेंज का मेरा रेटिंग से कैसा रिलेशनशिप है. I can use the box plot for this to particularly like show कि कहीं पर अगर मेरा outliers है So it will try to show me the outliers as well, right? The box plot. The box plot is very useful when you want to show the outliers. Let me pick the data as df. Now x, I want the price range, so I'll pick the price range. Where is the price range? This one is the price range. Now based on what exactly I want to use, what y, so y is like the aggregate rating. Where is the aggregate rating? Like this. Okay, now let me just run this plt.show. So this shows the relationship between the price range and the aggregate rating. It shows, we know that na luxury one, fourth represent the luxury one and one represent the medium one, right? So it shows कि जो मेरा medium, like though, let me just pick this data. ये जो मेरा ऊपर था, like this comment is the comment, this one. It shows जो मेरे बजट फ्रेंडली है और इनएक्सपेंसिव है, देयर रेटिंग्स आर लाइज इन रेंज बिटवीन 2 से 5 तक. मतलब उसमें कुछ डेटा है जिन्होंने ज़ीरो मुझे दिया है, जिन्होंने ज़ीरो रेट किया है, राइट. एंड वी हैव ऑल द प्राइस रेंजेस जिनमें सब ने ज़ीरो कुछ ना कुछ रेट किया है. बट ज़्यादातर जो आउटलायर्स है, आउटलायर्स आर लाइक ऑल माई फॉल्स डेटा पॉइंट्स, राइट. सो वो ज़्यादातर मेरे प्राइस रेंज 4 में आ रहा है, एंड प्राइस रेंज 4 रिप्रेजेंट लग्जरी. सो इट शोज़ दैट कि ज़्यादातर रेटिंग का जो इश्यूज़ है वो कहाँ से आया है, ये आपका लाइक प्राइस रेंज 4 से आया है. एंड इट शोज़ कि maximum rating that they have given is like the 5. The distribution of the data is like 2.5 से 5 के बीच में है, and they have some sort of outliers, and all these are my outliers. Now what exactly the box plot is like? The box plot is like something this. The box plot has like yeah, let me use this one, right? It has the minimum value, the maximum value, and the outliers. Like the first one is like we have to calculate. We don't need to calculate this. We need to calculate this q1. The q1 is not the quarter one, it's like the quantile one. The quantile one is the 25th percentile of your data. Now how to check the 25th percentile of your data? Let me just show you. See, if I just usually pick df aggregate rating and just need to run this describe, right? This 25th percentile show the like 25th percentile show you the quantile one, right? And this 75th percentile is like your quantile 3 q3. So this 75th is your like q3, and you can just simply check कि ज़्यादातर जो data है मेरा, it's like 2.9 से 3.9 के बीच में. So it's like 2.9 से 3.9 के बीच में, right? So it's not like with the first one. ये मैं overall की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, right? So this is like my q1, this one is like my q2 which is at the medium level, and this one is like my q3 which is like my the quantile 3, right? And once I got my q1, q2 and q3, q2 is my median. So what I need to do, I need to calculate the interquartile range. The interquartile range is like q3 minus q1. Once I got this iqr, I need to check the maximum upper cap. This is called the upper cap or upper whisker, and this one is called the lower cap or the lower whisker. Now how to calculate this upper cap? Very easy. Just add 1.5 times of this IQR. इस IQR का 1.5 गुना निकाल के just add in Q3 and you will get this upper capping, and whatever the data that you are gapping, you are getting outside this upper capping या upper whisker के जो भी बाहर जा रहा है, ये upper whisker कैसे calculate हुआ? You are like calculating IQR. How to calculate IQR? Q3 minus Q1, it's like 75th percentile minus 25th percentile. This is the IQR, and if you just multiply this IQR with 1.5 times and add the Q3 value, you will get this upper whisker. And same as it is, you need to subtract 1.5 times of this IQR from like Q1 and you will get the lower whisker, and this is like the range of your box plot. That's why this is called as box. This one is box and these one are your whiskers. So it represent box and whisker plots, right? And whatever the values that you are getting just left to this or the right of this whiskers are called your outliers, and box and whiskers plots are very important to get the outliers or to detect the outliers, right? So in this way you can just simply check your outliers and you can give the title as well. So let me just write the title what exactly we are doing here. So we are just like checking the relationship between price, the relationship between the price range and the ratings, and it will give you the data like this. Okay, so if you want to show the like the legend as well, so what I'll do, I'll copy the legend code what I have used there, just copy this and paste the same code here, and you will get the same like legend one, which is like the 1 2 3 4. But the problem is that we are getting something here, so you need to change the location as well, and you can change the location one. We have multiple location, let me just try two, that the two location is here, and if you just try with the four, the four one is here, right? So you can use the fourth one location, right? So in this way you can use the bivariate analysis to particularly check like the overall analysis that I have, right? Whether it is like the univariate column or like the single column analysis, or like for the multiple column analysis and all, right? So in this way we can like further finalize our data, and we can just say ki, okay, we have all these things and we need to particularly analyze all these things, and these are the outcomes and these are the like findings, and as a business analyst or data analyst you need to work on this, right? Now let me just pick the another column. We have the column like which is df ka the highlights, right? We have this column which is like the df highlights. Now what I'll do, I have multiple highlights, right? Lunch available है, take away available है, credit card accept होता है या नहीं होता है. We have like many things. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just simply say, I just simply want to check कि कितने रेस्टोरेंट में डिलीवरी अवेलेबल है, कितने में टेक अवे अवेलेबल है, एंड कितने में डिलीवरी अवेलेबल नहीं है. एंड फॉर दैट आई नीड टू राइट सम इफ एल्स. Okay, I need to write some if else, and it should be like very a very easy one. If I have any word related to like delivery, अगर ये डिलीवरी वर्ड मेरे डेटा में आया, वट एवर द डेटा दैट आई हैव, ओके, सो आई विल जस्ट से कि प्रिंट डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. ओके, डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. Otherwise I need to write another if, and we say this as a elif. Elif is like अगर take away available है, so we also say take away available है means take away available. So let me write this कि अगर take away available है in data, which data, ये मैं इस data की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, right? Then print में you can just say कि okay take away available है, right? Like this, take away available. Okay, and the final one is like your else. The else is like कि आपका ना तो डिलीवरी अवेलेबल है ना तो टेक अवे अवेलेबल है. सो जस्ट सिंपली राइट दिस मैसेज, नो नो डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. ओके, नो डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. नाउ व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस डेटा इज, ये डेटा हमें कहाँ से मिलेगा? सो व्हाट वील डू, वील ट्राई टू रन अ फोर लूप, एंड व्हाट आई वांट कि हर एक में जाए, एक एक में रीड करे कि डिलीवरी है या नहीं है, ये यहाँ पर लाइक टेक अवे है या नहीं है, एंड उसके बेसिस पर वो चेक करे. एंड इन पाइथन इफ आई वांट टू डू ऑल दिस थिंग्स वी नीड टू क्रिएट सम फंक्शंस, राइट? So what I do, I will create a function with the help of def. Def is like we are defining a function, and we will say कि like give highlights based on what, based on this data, whatever the data that I have. And let me just do one thing, because python works on like indentation, so इस सारे कोड को मुझे इस फंक्शन के अंदर पेस्ट करना पड़ेगा. नाउ दिस इज द डेटा वी विल पास, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दिस डेटा इट विल ट्राई टू सर्च डिलीवरी, अगर है तो डिलीवरी लिख देगा, टेक अवे है तो टेक अवे लिख देगा, एंड नहीं है कुछ तो नो डिलीवरी अवेलेबल लिख देगा. नाउ हाउ टू यूज दिस फंक्शन, जस्ट simply check कि if we have like the multiple data, let me just copy this, right? मैंने इसे कॉपी किया एंड यहाँ मैंने पास कर दिया, एंड इट विल जस्ट रन दिस फंक्शन एंड से कि इस पूरे में कहीं भी अगर डिलीवरी लिखा है तो द फाइनल मैसेज आई विल गेट इज अ डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. बट व्हेन वी यूज फंक्शन, वी डोंट यूज like return, we don't use print, we generally use return statement, right? So I'll say write this as return, return, and again write this as a return, right? Now I have this function, and it will give me the final answer return. Now why I want to use this, because I want to use this function over this data df dot highlight. So what I'll do कि अगर मुझे किसी series पर if I want to apply any function, so I need to use this apply method. Apply is a function that can particularly apply applies a function that can apply any function, and the name of my function is give highlights, right? So मैं इसके ऊपर में जैसे ही मैं रन करूंगा, it will convert this type of data into a this type of data, right? And what I'll say कि ठीक है, do one thing, just just do one thing, just store this in another, like first of all reset this index, reset index, it will convert this into data frame, right? And instead of directly resetting this index, let me use the value counts, and it says कि सबसे ज़्यादा जो डेटा अवेलेबल है मेरे पास, इट्स लाइक टेक अवे अवेलेबल एंड द डिलीवरी अवेलेबल, राइट? नाउ आई विल से कि नाउ रीसेट दिस इंडेक्स एंड जस्ट गिव मी द ओवरऑल आइडिया कि मेरे डेटा में सबसे ज़्यादा क्या अवेलेबल है, इट्स लाइक द टेक अवे अवेलेबल, एंड द सेकेंड थिंग इज लाइक द डिलीवरी अवेलेबल, एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज लाइक no delivery available. So in this way I can particularly use my data like this, and this one is very important and it should show the overall analysis, right? Now let me convert this data into a pie chart. So I can just simply say one thing, okay, do one thing कि इसको ना एक highlights df के नाम से सेव कर लो, save this like with the name of highlights df, and now I want to show the pie chart related to this highlights df. So what I'll do, I'll just simply say plt dot pie chart, and inside this pie chart what I want to show, I want to show कि हाईलाइट्स डीएफ का मुझे डेटा दिखाओ, काउंट दिखाओ, राइट? वट एवर द डेटा काउंट वी हैव, ये कुछ इस तरीके से पाई में कन्वर्ट कर देगा, राइट? आई कैन जस्ट सिंपली से कि पी एल टी डॉट शो यूज़ करो, देखिए आई एम गेटिंग द पाई वैल्यू एज वेल. नाउ इफ़ यू वॉन्ट टू गेट द वैल्यूज़, यहाँ पर ये नाम भी लिखा हुआ मिले, सो फॉर दैट वट यू नीड टू डू, जस्ट से कि यहाँ पर ये जो मुझे लाइक दिस इज द हाईलाइट, ये मेरे पास एक कॉलम है. नाउ आई वांट टू शो द लेबल्स ओवर द पाई चार्ट. सो मैं कहूँगा इस हाईलाइट्स पे जाओ, एंड हाईलाइट्स में यूज़ दिस कॉलम, हाईलाइट्स में use this column as a highlight, and this will give me the labels, and I can just simply say कि इसमें मुझे labels की values को दिखा दो, and labels की values मुझे कहाँ से मिल जाएगी, label से मिल जाएगी. Now it will run all these labels and labels. It says labels is not defined, labels, labels. Let me run this, labels, labels. Okay, instead of directly running this, let me do one thing, क्या मैं ऐसे रन कर सकता हूँ? Yes, I can run like this. So just ignore this, right? So now we have takeaway available, no delivery available, and delivery available. Now I want to show the percentage as well. So ये सब मैं pie chart में मैं कर सकता हूँ. Like for this I need to use the matplotlib, right? I have another argument which is like the auto pct, and inside this auto pct I can say कि शो मी डेटा इन परसेंटेज फॉर्मेट, राइट? सो आई कैन जस्ट से कि मुझे कितने डेसिमल फॉर्मेट तक चाहिए. सो let me show the data in 2 decimal format, and I'll pass this, and it will give you the data in 2 decimal percentage format. So it says it say कि ज़्यादातर जो डेटा आपके पास अवेलेबल है, लाइक द टेक अवे अवेलेबल आपके डेटा में, एंड द रेस्ट इज लाइक एट डिलीवरी अवेलेबल, एंड द थर्ड वन इज लाइक नो डिलीवरी अवेलेबल. यू कैन यूज ऑल दिस थिंग्स, राइट? इफ यू वांट टू शो द लेजेंड एज वेल, so you can use the legend, right? So you know that. Okay, any doubt related to this? So in this way we can particularly use all these things, right, to analyze the complete data, right? Now let me just do the final analysis. See, we have like additional one important module that can particularly convert any data, that can convert any data like into a word cloud. If I want to create a word cloud inside Python, so we need to import this module, and we have a very popular module which is called like the word cloud. Okay, let me just show you how these modules work. Import word cloud. So this word cloud is like the Python module, and we need to first of all install this. So you need to write this code, pip install word cloud. The word cloud, now we are installing this package right inside Python. So this pip install, okay, it says requirement already satisfied. Now what you have to do, just go to their documentation and check if there are any documentation related to this or not, and if it is not available, you can take reference of any website, right, how to create a word cloud, right? So it says if you want to create a word cloud, yeah, you need to import this from word cloud, import stop word. No, I don't want to like stop any words. I just want to create a word cloud. So I'll say ki from word cloud import word cloud, and let me copy all this code, right? So from word cloud import word cloud. This is the first code, and second, what I want ki use this word cloud, and what exactly the data that you want to use. You need some text data, so just copy this complete code, right? Copy this complete code. And I know that I don't want to show the title as IMDb. What I want, I have this like df ka highlights. I have this df highlights, and I want to highlight all this ki sabse zyada highlight kiska hai. Like let me just give you ki how it works. Suppose I have this text data, and suppose this is the data that I have. like ये मेरे पास एक data है, and what I'll do, मेरे पास मैंने इसे text data को convert कर दिया, and suppose I want to convert this into word cloud. So it will say कि इस पूरे डेटा में सबसे ज़्यादा वर्ड कौन सा लिखा हुआ है. दिस विल कन्वर्ट दिस इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ वर्ड क्लाउड. नाउ आई वांट कि इस पूरे हाईलाइट में सबसे ज़्यादा कौन सा वर्ड हाईलाइट्स हो रखा है. सो दैट इज़ द रीज़न वी वांट दिस काइंड ऑफ टेक्स्ट, राइट? सो व्हाट आई डू, I'll say कि we have this method, right? And I can use the like generate method. I have a generate method for the same. See, what I'll do ki I'll say ki do one thing. We have this string and use the join method. Inside the join method, join all the highlights that you have and store this data inside the text variable. If you just run this code, you have converted all the highlights into the text, and once you run this code, you will get your the popular one highlighted data. And you know that na the title is wrong, right? So you can just simply say ki this is not the correct title. I want to give the title is like highlight words, so you can just give title as highlight words. So now you can say कि in Zomato restaurant सबसे ज़्यादा जो words मेरा highlight है, that is like related to takeaway available, indoor sitting, and the credit card, and the payments or the accepted, or like the available, the cash, the digital payment. It means जो मेरा like particularly जो restaurants है, it generally uses all these type of like the tokens, or you can say the prompts, or like the facilities or the availabilities that you can say, right? So in this way we can create a word cloud as well. Now what exactly the power of this word cloud? Suppose you want to analyze some text, right? So let me do one thing. I'll go to chat gpt and I'll say give me 500 words of Narendra Modi speech. Okay, Narendra Modi speech. Give me 500 words of Narendra Modi speech, right? It will try to search the web. It will give me the 500 words, like the complete paragraph. Okay, like this. So what I'll do, I want to analyze कि like मोदी जी ने कौन सा ज़्यादा statement use किया है in above all 500 words, right? So what I'll do, इस पूरे को मैं copy कर लूँगा, right? And just do one thing, go to EDA, and you know that ना this time you want to show the text related to what. So just simply write text is equals to, in triple quotes, this is the text, right? Just ignore the text because we have multiple text, right? Now just run this. If you just run this, you will get to know, okay, सबसे ज़्यादा मोदी जी ने कौन सा word use किया है. It's like India and strong, right? So in this way you can create a word cloud. It's not always related to like the highlights data. You can use any textual data, right? And it's very important, right? So I think you will get some idea ki how to use this. Now what I'll do, I want to use this text, not this one. So I'll select all data and press control forward slash. This will convert all data into comment options. And now I'll run the above one text, and फिर मैं ऊपर ये last code run कर दूंगा, and this will give me the highlights word of my like overall restaurant data. And it says सबसे ज़्यादा available है, it's like takeaway available. It by default picks the colors, right? If you want to change the background color, you can change the background color. If you want to change the height and width, you can change the height and width also, right? It's right now it's 800 by 400. Let me just change this to 800 by 800. So in this way I can simply analyze my data, and I can particularly see it's like 800 by 800. Now if you want to save this images, so you can do one thing. You can like run this code plt.savefig, and you can just say savefig is a command or a method that you can save, and just save this as a word cloud, words cloud, cloud, word cloud dot png, and with the dpi is a quality, with the dpi quality is of like 1000. And let me just run this. If I get my word clouds here, and I'll get my word cloud in a png format as well, and now you can just check here is the word cloud png, and right now it's in, let me just check the size. It's in like 127 kb. So what you have to do, just simply download this and you can like check this word cloud as well, right? So in this way you can just explore your word cloud, like this is the data, but we are not getting the data, right? We are getting the blank data. Why it is show? Let me just check what exactly the problem is. So do one thing, run this code, and before this like plt dot show, this might be the problem, right? इसी का issue हो सकता है, run this like, and in this way we can like save our figure as well, right? Whatever the analysis that we have performed. Now we, you need to particularly analyze like each and individual visual, and then you have to finally, let me just refresh this, you have to give the final insights and remarks, then you can probably take decision based on that, right? Now it's 6.9 mb, and you can say yeah, we are getting the like data with related to word cloud. Let me just download this, and you can just say कि okay, this is the word cloud, right? ये देखिए, with the high quality, right? Whatever the data ये है ना, ये proper तरीके से you can check the qualities and all, and you can use this like for your further analysis. It's not always related to like the takeaway available. You can like save any of the figure, like whatever the figure that you have. ये मैं इसे सेव करना चाहता हूँ, आई कैन सेव दिस ऑल्सो, आई कैन सेव दिस ऑल्सो, like the pie chart, all the kds analysis, like the bar chart and all the column chart, right? I can save all this, the top 10 restaurants by cuisines, like the bottom 10 restaurants. Now the problem was, we have this data set, we performed all analysis over this data set, and it's not like completed yet. You know that there is no such ending. You can perform all multiple analysis, multiple columns analysis, and it's completely depends upon you, yes or no? So just let me know any doubt related to this, like how we have completed all these things, and like what is the purpose of like using the python, and using the like all these things inside the Jupyter notebook. We can perform all analysis using Python, Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib. And once we start with the machine learning, we need to particularly learn all the important modules. So you know that now. Let me just go to Chat GPT and show you one thing, right? See, it's like give me a list of techniques, tools by like for data, like for business, BUSI, any business analyst with their like percentage, with their like contribution in percentage. See, list of techniques and the key techniques that the business analysts, like the SWOT analysis, pestile analysis, like the business process modeling, gap analysis, and you can the data analysis. It's just only the 10%, right? Whatever we have, like whatever we have performed, we know that how to use wireframing, Balsamic figure, Jira. You know that na, Tableau, Excel, Power BI, and all, right? Right, the stakeholder analysis and all this sort analysis, right? Requirement gathering is like the most of the task, 15%, and modeling like the machine learning and all these things, like the stakeholder analysis, the process building and all, like the root cause analysis, fishbone diagram. So whatever like we have accomplished, like whatever the use of python, it's just only a 10% of weightage, right? It's not like beyond that. You can say ki you should just know how to use like python for data analysis, or like for the business analyst like perspective. It's not always related to कि आप ये सारा चीजें learn करें and perform करें. Now you know that कि in this way we have like perform all these EDAs, Zomato, like over the Zomato data set, exploratory data analysis. Now you need to particularly pick each points, each visuals, and draw some insights, and write out write down all things in markdowns in pointers. Like Bangalore has the highest number of restaurants, like the bottom one you can pick the Naya Gaon. Like now after that you need to particularly create a machine learning model, and this machine learning model could be like कि किस data set के basis पे what exactly I want to predict, right? So this is also a part of like our current module. But what I have decided कि instead of telling you like what exactly, let me just open the day 3 modules, right? Instead of telling you how to use this, like where's the, okay, this one. So instead of like using this like building simple forecasting model, I have used all these things like the writing stories, acceptance criteria, agile and waterfall methodologies, like the data processing, Python data processing, manipulation, NumPy, Matplotlib, and everything, right? But we can create a simple forecasting model as well. But the problem is that key right now it's not required, right? It's a completely depends upon the basic requirement. Just give me a second. See, so in this way, like we can particularly do all the analysis using the different technologies, different tools that we have, whether it is like the Python, Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Seaborn, right? Whatever that we have, right? So, like, just let me know any doubt related to whatever that we have performed so far, like from day one, day two to day three. We know how to analyze the data set, how to create the BRDs and FRDs. Any doubt related to anything? Anyone? See, it's very hectic for me to like deliver all these things, right, in just a online way. I really want to be offline, right? But the thing is that ki ye online hai, and I need to deliver the same thing, right? So just let me know how like the overall like analysis for today आप सभी को समझ में आया, like what exactly that we have learned so far day 1 to day 3 में. If I just conclude like the day 3, it's like all the like journey of how to take decision based on like the methodologies that we have, the different differences between like the agile and the waterfall model, like how to create a data frame inside Python, what exactly the numpy arrays are, like how to create, how to visualize your data, how to like particularly work on exploratory data analysis. Even though I can like show you the forecasting model as well, but I particularly consider this topic to be a part of like this one, okay? Machine learning models I'll definitely explain you in detail in this class, right? rather than अभी छोटा सा सीखने से अच्छा हम आगे इसे प्रॉपर तरीके से करेंगे, okay? So, any doubt or any questions related to this? Like tomorrow we'll start with the day for like the storytelling, and believe me, अब जो आएगा वो easy रहेगा, like how to work on the Google Looker Studio, the Tableau as well, right? The day 5 is completely dedicated to the Tableau one, right? Different sectorial analysis. We will try to do the practical aspect also, and the day 4 was like completely related to a comparison between the different visualization tools that we have, and I will try to do some other stuffs also, right? Irrespective of what we have written over there, right? And the final day could be related to like the machine learning and how to implement all these machine learning technique and how to predict the values, right? So I think this is enough for today. Just let me know any doubt or any queries related to this. It's very hectic for me to just continuously speak in just a one way, right? Dr. Satish sir, Dr. Ashwarya ma'am, Dr. Tulika ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, very good sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So, sir, just let me know like in just a very short way, like समझ में आ रहा है? It not like related to ऊपर से गया आज का topic कुछ,
No, no, it's
हाँ?
not like that. I mean, thing is that there are so many things which have to be covered in such a short time period.
Right,
So, I mean, the constraint is there.
right,
And even if, I mean, we are able to get maybe 30%, 40%, but yes, that is a kind of appetizer for the future.
definitely,
Yeah, definitely, we can build up from where you have just, you will leave this forum and then we'll look forward to make understand more things about the
right.
Python.
Right, right. So the thing is that the main purpose is to build some like the foundational concept so
Yes,
that we
yes,
can take decision based on that, right?
yes.
Okay. Anyone like here and can like want to say something? Tulika ma'am, Smita ma'am. I really want like two-way communication so that we can discuss further more things. Although I know like what exactly I have to deliver, right? But the thing is that अगर two-way communication रहता it could be the better one, right? Dr. Nidhi ma'am, are you there? Dr. Archana ma'am, Dr. Chand sir, Dr. Aishwarya ma'am. So, any doubt or any question related to this, or shall I just like close this session? We know that we learned so far, right? We understood many things like related to from like the day one to day three, right? Different things to do as a business analyst and as a data analyst, and I'm trying my best to give you like whatever that I have in just a very short span of time, right? So Satish sir, any like final points that you want to summarize, or shall I just leave this and let's meet for
Uh,
like next class? Anything?
yes, we can discuss in the next class. I think sufficient. You have covered sufficient things.
Okay.
It's purely up to us that how we practice, how we carry forward these learnings.
Definitely. Yes.
Guys, you have done your job very well.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, I'll do one thing. I'll give my like all the PPTs, and I have like particularly considered the last day as a AI tools introduction day, because right now we don't need to particularly rely on our knowledge itself, right? We can use the AI tools. We can explore the multiple AI tools, and I'll try my best to give you how to use the different AI tools in the different scenarios, right? You cannot particularly build everything on your own way. We have to use right now whatever the tools available in the market, right?
so
The
those are available on paid basis, or I mean, free version is also there.
so like most of them are like in paid format, but the thing is that we need to understand how to use, how to write the prompt engineering and all, right?
Okay.
So that we need to particularly learn all this stuff from like the basic scratch, and we generally don't see. Let me just give you the approach, right? I have
Hmm.
created this PPT, right? This is the PPT, and you know that key I eventually don't use PPT that much, because I exactly know, because like being a practical one, I have to deliver something in like just doing these things, right? So I cannot particularly rely on the practical aspect, or sorry, on the project, yeah, like with the PPTs aspect, right? सो ये जो
Hmm.
पीपीटीज मैंने बनाए, ये आई हैव यूज द ए आईज, राइट? मैं ज़्यादा इस पर मुझे टाइम देना ही नहीं है, बिकॉज आई नो द बेसिक overview points and the basic things that I need to like particularly work on. Okay, so we will try to learn all these things also, like how I have created this and how to particularly use all this on day to day basis, because industry में ये सारी चीज़ें हमें यूज़ करनी पड़ती है. I cannot create everything on scratch or from scratch, right? So I think this is enough for today, and we right now the very good thing is कि हम whatever the roadmap that we have, we are like up to 98 to 99%, right? We have almost covered each and every topic in detail, and whatever the roadmap that we have so far, right? And I'll try to cover up the rest thing also in timeline, in a given timeline, and we'll try to give you the best and the extra tools as well, right? So I think that's enough for today. So let's meet tomorrow and we'll start with the new topic, like the different BI tools that we have and how to particularly use different BI tools in different scenarios, right?
Okay, okay, Ankit ji. Thank you
Okay,
so
sir.
much.
Huh. Okay, sir. And okay, and bye bye to all respected faculties. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye bye.